Oh my God, content this good's been promised to me 3,000 years ago. It looks like Rubio is going to be the next president of the United States. The Iran situation is wrapping up in possibly the best possible way, despite the fact that all the third world was screaming about how Iran was winning. It looks like, well, quite the opposite of that is happening. We got the libtards losing their absolute mind in public. Some of them committing treason on camera while a red wave is going on as every single Trump-endorsed politician won their elections yesterday. It's insane. I'm not even kidding. Trump's ops are falling apart online and offline, and Sneeko was just deported. We got insane content on the docket today. Lock in, boys and girls. I've been camping out in the Jew tunnels all night planning this one. All right, I did a lot of research and I'm very excited. So honestly, this one's gonna be awesome. Definitely subscribe. Donald Trump tweeted, assuming Iran agrees to give what has been agreed to, which is perhaps a big assumption, because they're terrorist pedophiles, and already legendary epic fury will be at an end, and the highly effective blockade will allow the Hormuz Strait to be open to all, including Iran. But if they don't agree, the bombing starts, and it will be sadly at a much higher level and intensity than it was before. Thank you for your attention to this matter, President Donald J. Trump. For those of you that are unaware, epic fury is over. We are now currently in the middle of the mission economic fury. Part of the reason why Trump is doing like these name changes is because he's doing it completely in line with the Constitution. All right, we need congressional approval for a war over 60 days, so therefore it's over. It's over already, and now a new thing is starting. All right, for those of you that understand, now a lot of people are probably going to be like, "Oh my God, is this Trump violating the Constitution?" No, what are you talking about? This is a totally different operation. It's economic fury. I love when people try to call me out for hypocrisy. It's like, you like it when the district court judges try to swat down Biden's rulings that everyone needs to wear masks, but you don't like when the district court judges try to swat down Trump's rulings when he tries to deport people and kill terrorist pedophiles? And I'm like, yes, I actually like when good things happen, and I don't like when bad things happen. What an honestly abstract concept. It's like, you're a hypocrite if you support good things, but you don't support bad things. Yeah, don't let these retards manipulate you into believing this shit. They don't believe in anything. They have no moral foundation. Their words are weapons. Remember that. You'll see. I'll be completely vindicated on this. Anyway, breaking: U.S. forces in the Gulf of Oman fire on and disable Iranian flagship seeking to run the blockade. That is our blockade on the Strait of Hormuz now. Now, a lot of people are like, I don't understand why Trump has the right to do this. Because we're at war with terrorist pedophiles. We want them to make a deal, and therefore we're going to strangle them. That's right. Economic fury, ladies and gentlemen. We close off their straits. They're going to gargle in their own blood until they want to give us all their their enriched uranium and shit like that, and the regime falls apart. Classic stuff. The gay Ayatollah stops having sex with little boys, stuff like that. Until then, we're going to strangle you. Now, again, I always like looking at the opposing viewpoint. The opposing viewpoint is actually like, no, not the terrorist pedophile. That's the opposing viewpoint. I just laid it out for you. Anyway, Iran agrees to remove enriched uranium in 30-day Iran-U.S. preliminary peace deal. The Donald looks like he pulled off a miracle. The thing that everyone said was impossible. It seems like it's happening. All the libtards, all the Dave Smiths of the world losing their mind that it's actually working. And Trump, he just reiterates the actual game plan here.
In the case of Iran, we're not going to let Iran have a nuclear weapon.
That's right.
And we're not going to let that happen.
Yep.
And we won't let that happen. And
nope.
So we're dealing with people that want to make a deal very much, and
yep.
We'll see whether or not they can make a deal that's satisfactory to us.
Yep.
We have it very much under control.
Yep.
The blockade is unbelievable. The
yep.
Navy's been incredible. The job they did.
Have you ever wondered why you haven't seen any missiles flying at our boats? It's because they don't have missiles. Have you ever wondered why I haven't heard anything in the media recently about Iranian Navy ship or Iranian Air Force jet? Yeah, do you wonder why that hasn't showed up in the news? Because they don't exist. They are extinct.
It's like a wall of steel. Nobody goes through. In particular, the Iranians, they're not getting anything through
it sucks
one way
for
or
them,
the other.
I guess. Man.
So they're out of business.
Man.
And we'll see whether or not they are agreeing. And if they don't agree, they'll end up agreeing shortly thereafter.
That's right. So that is how it works. Now, a lot of people are really mad about this, but I'm going to reiterate the only correct stance here. And a lot of people disagree with this opinion, but that's because they're gay, retarded faggots. I just want to make that very clear. You're supposed to win wars, actually. All right? Now, when you fight a war, you fight it to win. Okay? Now, either you win by them being dead, or you win by them surrendering and giving you all the shit that you want. That is how wars work. Now, you could argue that it's immoral to start wars and shit like that, but I fully support winning wars that begin. So yeah, don't let the retards convince you otherwise.
What do they need to do to violate the ceasefire?
Well, you'll find out, because I'll let you know. They know what to do, and they know what to do. They know what not to do, more importantly, actually. And, they fired them in little boats with pea shooters, the pea shooters, little boat with little, why? Because they don't have any boats anymore. Their Navy is comprised of, they call them little boats, right? Boats or little boats. And they're fast, they're so fast that...
They send their little gay boats at us. I'll let you know when the ceasefire actually gets violated. So Iran launches new missile attacks on the United Arab Emirates because they're the mostly peaceful terrorist regime. And suddenly, mysterious fires starting erupted everywhere in Iran. I do my best to cover the news from every single angle. I do so much research for this shit. Mysterious fires started in Iran. No one knows the source of these fires. It's probably Iranian, people that are trying to... continue the revolution against the Islamic regime that's occupying Iran. All right. HEGSETH has responded to some of the greatest claims ever made by the Iranian media.
Confirm or deny whether we have kamikaze dolphins, but I can confirm they don't.
Right. So I cannot confirm or deny if we, the United States of America, has kamikaze dolphins, but Iran does not. All right. No matter how much AI propaganda of kamikaze dolphins Iran keeps trying to push, unfortunately for them, that is not true. They don't have that. And dude, Rubio has been taking names and kicking ass. They asked him in the White House what his DJ name is.
Now, what is your DJ name?
My DJ name?
Your DJ name.
You're not ready for my DJ name.
on the war.
The craziest thing is he's just like the most likable guy ever. He's just like a good dude. Zero scandals, zero controversies, laser focused, knows what he's doing. Hand on the throttle. Bro is just obliterating retard terrorists, communist regimes around the world, getting shit done, and he doesn't take garbage. And he's just a likable freaking dude. A religious Catholic Christian man, honestly, has a family, just the GOAT. What can I say? He's just awesome like that. And everyone's like loving that. So Harry Sisson, all right, retard libcuck, he's like, it's actually remarkable to see how MAGA fans are amused by so little. Like really, were you dying laughing at this? Now, there are a few things to say here. One, people on the right tend to just enjoy the fact that our politicians are human beings, as opposed to people on the left that want to assassinate our politicians. And two, this just goes to show that the left really has nothing to do, when it comes to Marco Rubio. They got nothing on this guy, right? They can't, pull out ancient Trump quotes or shit like that, or some tweets that they're going to make believe it's political violence to tweet that you should be killing terrorist pedophiles in Iran. They have nothing on this guy. He's just airtight to the point that people are like, why are you laughing when he said something funny? It's honestly incredible. Now, Marco gave this little speech. Elon Musk reposted it because it's a pretty presidential one, right? It's a minute long. It's got 20 million views, 200,000 likes. Rubio is now currently at odds to win the 2028 presidential election. 20% chance right now, compared to the 18% for Vance and the 17% for Gavin Newsom. And to be honest, I think he's the best suited. I've been saying this the entire time, and I'm really glad people are warming up to my opinion. And this was his little speech that Elon Musk tweeted. So yeah, it looks like this dude's going to be the next president of the United States. And honestly, I'm really happy we're having a guy that actually takes foreign policy seriously while simultaneously worries a lot about domestic policy. Now, Rubio's been a machine. There's the meme that Marco Rubio literally does the job that everybody needs. Like every time there's a hole somewhere in the administration, Marco Rubio does it. Well, Caroline Leavitt is currently on maternity leave, or she's giving birth or whatever, and she was the press secretary. So he took over doing the press briefings. So before he actually answers the retard reporters' questions, he gives this little update on the Iran situation. And this dude's the GOAT. He's actually the GOAT. I didn't see this fully yet. I saw a clip of it and it was insane. But he's actually on fire, much like how Iran is currently on fire. Physically, literally, and economically, these terrorists are dying, and as much as the libtards keep trying to convince me it's a bad thing that the terrorist pedophiles that massacred 40,000 of their own people, killed hundreds of our people, they're trying so hard to convince me it's actually a bad thing that these guys are dead, and unfortunately, that's probably just because the left is terrorist pedophiles themselves.
Thank you guys for having me today. I'll be filling in for Caroline today, obviously. So
Oh my God, he does all the things.
I'll have a
He's
brief remarks
everywhere.
and then we'll get to your questions. As you know, over the weekend, the president announced this Project Freedom, and the goal of it is to, frankly,
It's a totally different thing than Epic Fury, by the way. This is Operation Freedom. It's a different thing.
talk about it. It's to rescue like almost 23,000 civilians from
Based. Dude, I'm so happy he's addressing it like
87
this.
different countries that are trapped inside of the Gulf.
That's right.
And left.
And now a lot of people around the world, like all the leftoids especially, the libtards, the media honestly manipulates people into this, which is why you need to be watching Nuxanor or else you just don't know what's going on in the world. They convince you that it's America's fault for starting a war, which is why Iran is now bombing civilian ships in the Strait of Hormuz. The international waterway, the Strait of Hormuz, does not belong to Iran. It is not Iran's territory. They have no right to be bombing civilian ships there. It's an act of terror. It's straight up an act of terrorism. Right? While this war is going on, these guys are bombing civilian ships, civilian oil tankers of completely third-party countries that have nothing to do with this conflict whatsoever. Even if they did have to do with this conflict, it would still be an act of terror. But it's a double act of terror because they're just bombing people that have nothing to do with anything. They're putting mines in an international economic waterway. All right, they're committing unbridled acts of terror. Now, imagine if they actually had a navy and a nuclear weapon. Imagine how much more dangerous they would be. You know, the entire world should be kissing our toes and sucking our fingers, all right, begging and pleading that Donald Trump has such a merciful glance on the world the way he does. All right, the reality is all these Eurocuck nations that are currently having a hard time because the Strait of Hormuz is closed down, maybe you guys should have gone to help us deal with the issues in Iran with the Strait of Hormuz. Maybe you guys should have gotten involved, right? But they're so cucked out, they're so sold to their Islamic majorities in their countries that they refuse to do anything about it. So that's a skill issue, and I don't feel bad for them.
Dead in the Persian Gulf by this Iranian regime.
Yeah, they're doing
for more
acts
than
of terror.
2 months now, these innocent sailors and commercial crew members have been stranded out at sea.
Yeah.
Because Iran is conducting something that's not just criminal. It's criminal for sure, but it's desperate and destructive, this blockade of the Straits of Hormuz.
True.
Nations from around the world, the overwhelming
And no one wants to condemn it. Where's the UN? The UN condemns us for capturing Maduro, a drug trafficking terrorist dictator. All right, they'll condemn us for killing Ayatollah Khamenei, a rapist, pedophile dictator. All right, mass killer. All right, they'll condemn us for all that shit, but they won't condemn Iran for bombing civilian ships. Like, they won't condemn them for, like, open and public acts of terror that they fully acknowledge they're doing. It's just such an obvious double standard. It's insane. Which is why, in my opinion, international law is fake and gay. I think we are international law. I don't actually believe that we need to follow some sort of doctrine pushed forward by retards in the third world. I'm sorry. If you get a couple of guys in the Congo who speak with clicks and whistles to condemn us for shit, I actually don't give a fuck.
majority of whom are not even engaged in any military hostilities, are now at risk not just of losing their cargo, but the lives of their own citizens because of this blockade.
Yep.
These ships, you know, you don't leave a ship out there for this long. You start running out of food. You start running out of potable water, essential supplies, and they're at the mercy of this piracy. And what it is, it's piracy. And not only that, but some of them have seen, you know, been open fire on and rained down senseless attacks on several civilian ships already. So frankly, the way to put it, these are
crazy,
innocent
man.
bystanders.
It's crazy watching people try to make it look like it's America's fault that we got in this war and now they shut down the Strait of Hormuz or whatever. They're literally doing open acts of terror on civilians in front of the entire world, and the world is so much more focused on condemning us. You know, it's honestly, it's biblical. You know, it's like, it's the most obvious case of spiritual warfare ever. They hate us, they hate our country, they hate the biblical values that are the foundation of our civilization, while all of the European nations are selling out their country and values to the radical foreigners that they're importing en masse in order to get their votes. They are trading God for political power in these European leftoid regimes, and they hate us. They absolutely hate us that we refuse to do that. It's just this mass disinformation, propaganda, demoralization campaign that's been blasting us from all sides for the entirety of this conflict, when these guys, these Iranian terrorist pedophiles that have massacred 40,000 of their own people, that have been oppressing them for 47 years, that have been waging war on us for 47 years, that have killed hundreds of our people, that are trying to develop nuclear weapons to threaten the entire world, that are currently, at this very moment, dropping mines and shooting missiles at civilian economic ships, civilian tankers that have nothing to do with the conflict, and they don't get a peep, and the world condemns us. Literally, fuck yourself, world, and fuck yourself, international law.
And ships and so forth that have nothing to do with any of this, and nonetheless are being caught in the middle of it and being held hostage merely because Iran could do that, just because of just as the regime brutally slaughtered tens of thousands of their own citizens for the crime of peaceful protest, because they're unhappy with the quality of life or the lack of quality of life in Iran today. And so they're sitting ducks. They're isolated, they're starving, they're vulnerable, and at least 10 sailors have already died as a result of the civilian sailors. So already many nations privately and some publicly have asked
how are these nations so cucked they're not willing to do anything after their people are getting killed in terrorist attacks? Like these people are so pathetic. Well, they'll write a strongly worded tweet about it.
States to help free their ships and to restore freedom of navigation in the Straits of Hormuz and this critical artery of global trade. And so President Trump, as he always does, stepped up and answered the calls for their help. And he's directed the United States military to guide these stranded ships to safety, to provide a protective bubble under which they can operate and move product and get themselves out of there and out of the harm's way. And this is the first step towards reopening the strait and bringing this regime's last-ditch act of economic arson, bringing that to a close. We're doing it not only because we were asked, but because we're the only ones who can. We have the power to sort of take the steps that we've taken now. Under this president, under President Trump, the United States will help our friends. We're going to stand up to rogue regimes like the one in Tehran, and we're going to be unashamed to use our power and our abilities to project military power in the service of our
This is charity, all right? We are doing charity for the libtards around the world.
National interest above all else. Now, what's really important for you to report and for everyone to understand is this is not an offensive operation. This is a defensive operation. And what that means is very simple. There's no shooting unless we're shot at first. Okay, we're not attacking them. But if they're attacking us or they're attacking a ship, you need to respond to that. You're not going to let some fast boat come up on a ship and shoot it up. We're going to respond to it, and we've been successful at it. I don't know what the exact number is, but I know a number of those fast boats have now been targeted.
We are sharing the oceans with the Iranian Navy. We get the top half, and they get the bottom half.
And we'll continue to be if they pose a threat to our forces. We'll shoot down drones, we'll shoot down missiles, but it's defensive in nature. This is defensive. So if you hear stories about attacks and launching of firing back and forth, it's not back and forth. We are only responding if attacked first. This is a defense.
It's crazy how the media is literally running defense for our actual enemies in the middle of a war. Like, it's pretty shocking. Like, you'd think this should be a unifying moment for the country, right?
Defensive operation. And that's what's
It's almost like half the country is just literally at war with God or something, but that's ridiculous, right?
Occurring here. Just about the importance of the Straits for a moment. This is approximately a quarter of the world's oil trade, along with significant volumes of fuel and fertilizer that operate through the Straits of Hormuz. The Iranian regime cannot be allowed to dictate who uses this vital waterway.
True.
I don't think this is also being reported enough. Maybe you are reporting. I don't read everyone. I don't many damn outlets here. I don't know who you all are, but I mean, I know who some of you are, but I don't know all of you are. But I will say this about it. This is an international waterway. Okay, this is an international waterway. And international law is very clear, and I love it because everybody always talks about international law, and this international law...
international law is fake and gay. Not only are we not violating international law, but I don't give a flying fuck even if we did. I have a very principled stance here. International law is not real. It's made by retards to control powerful countries like us. All right, that is what international law is. It's so the retards can make believe they still have some form of power. All right, they are going to obliterate their military. They're not going to have nuclear projects. They're gonna shred everything. They're gonna go woke shit, no oil, solar energy, windmills and shit. All right, they're not gonna actually build fuel. They're gonna be cucked out nations where they spend their entire budgets on importing infinite retards into their countries, and they still want to make believe they have the power to dictate world events, and they don't. So they hide behind international law, where the Eurotards and the libshits are able to show up and make believe that they actually have some sort of power, where they could get together in their little strongly worded tweet bubbles and make believe they can tell the United States of America what to do. And that is laughable. So yeah, international law is actually fake and gay. We could do things, and there's really nothing you could do about that.
Law on this is very clear. International waterways, no country can control them. There is no international law that allows you to say, I'm going to put mines in an international body of water, and I'm going to blow up ships that don't listen to us and try to go through. That's what Iran is doing. This is a criminal act. And someone needs to do something about it. Something needs to be done.
It's wild watching the world condemn the United States for Iran literally doing open acts of terrorism.
It's completely illegal, completely illegitimate, and completely unacceptable. And that's why the United States military is guiding stranded commercial ships safely through the strait and is working to restore freedom of navigation and putting an end to these efforts to hold the global economy hostage. So far, as a proof of concept and as a proof of function, 2 U.S. flag merchant ships have successfully transferred the Strait of Hormuz in the first stages of this project, and they're now safely on their way. The U.S. military is deploying the necessary assets to extend this defensive umbrella over commercial shipping. But there should be no mistake. And as I said this already, this is a defensive operation. I want to reiterate that point. This is important to understand. If no shots are fired at these ships and no shots are fired at us, we're not firing shots. But if we're fired on, we will respond, and we will respond with lethal efficiency. The assets supporting this project, by the way, include...
That was a very nice way to say we are going to blow you to hell, all right? Your 72 virgins that all look like Ferogan are going to be in hell with you, all right? You are going to die, and it's going to be fucking awesome, actually. That's right. No, you're not allowed to celebrate the deaths of terrorists. No, actually, I am going to celebrate the deaths of terrorists. What are you going to do? Are you going to condemn me with a strongly worded tweet? This is all of their power, by the way.
Guided missile destroyers, over 100 land and sea-based aircraft, multi-domain unmanned platforms, and 15,000 of the finest military service members on the planet. These forces have already destroyed, as I told you earlier, I thought it was 6, it's 7 Iranian fast boats that failed to heed our warnings. And by fast boats, we're talking about, you know, some of these things look like Boston whalers. Okay, so these are not like Navy ships. But nonetheless, they come fast at these boats, try to swarm them, try to harm them. We're not going to let that happen. So 7 of them now sit at the bottom of the sea, along with, by the way, the rest of Iran's Navy. That's where you can find their Navy today. And we're going to continue to systematically clear this passageway through the straits to restore freedom of navigation. Now, while this project steadily progresses, Operation Economic Fury,
there it is,
continues to impose.
God, I love that. I love that, bro. Operation Epic Fury is done. Operation Epic Fury, it took like 2 weeks. We wiped out their entire leadership twice, and we took out all their Air Force and their military and their Navy. That's over now. Operation Economic Fury begins. This is a totally other thing. This is purely trying to work out a peace deal while we strangle them economically forever. And if they refuse to make a peace deal, then they're going to die.
On the Iranian regime
sucks, probably.
And what remains of their already frail economy. Today, inflation in Iran is 70%, and their currency is in total and complete freefall. U.S. sanctions enforcement is stepping up. It's moving in lockstep with the naval blockade to degrade Iran's capacity to generate, to move.
And Iran done fucked up there. I'm not going to lie, bro. They really fucked up. 47 years of planning a war with the United States, and they get fucking obliterated in like 1 second.
And repatriate revenue. It directly targets the regime's primary revenue lifelines. The blockade alone is costing Iran as much as $500 million a day in lost revenue. 90% of total Iranian trade has been halted, causing permanent damage to Iran's oil infrastructure as wells are forced to shut in. Again, all of this is in response to their piracy. Okay, it cannot be that you have these straits and they blow up any ship that moves, and the only ships that get to go through are theirs. You can't have a situation in which the straits are closed to everyone else, but they benefit from the piracy. That can't happen. That's why the blockade is in place, and that's why these sanctions are crippling them. Any foreign financial, and by the way, Treasury is now identifying and cutting off every dollar of revenue that's flowing to this regime. Look, any foreign financial institution or commercial actor.
You guys are getting strangled. Oh my, and some third worlder is like, oh yeah, well, I saw an AI video, it's over. Tucker Carlson talking about how we're losing this war. Oh, what are we doing, guys, bro? This is
that enables Iran's sanctions evasion is going to face secondary sanctions exposure and a loss of access to the U.S. financial system. As President Trump has said, and the facts clearly bear out, the United States of America holds all the cards. There is no scenario here in which if they decide to join a ladder of escalation, they wind up getting the last say. But our preference is for these straits to be opened to the way they're supposed to be open, back to the way it was. Anyone can use it, no mines in the water, nobody paying tolls. That's what we have to get back to, and that's the goal here. Every day the conflict continues, however, our leverage on Iran will continue to increase, and their position will continue to weaken, especially as the blockade really begins to bite in conjunction with
I keep seeing these comments. People keep asking me, it's like, why is it bad if Iran does a blockade, but it's okay if we do a blockade? Again, I feel like so many people get lost in this obvious fallacy, the fact that we are the United States of America. I'm glad to answer your question. It's because we are international law, actually. And also because our blockade is literally only strangling Iran. You know, the terrorist pedophile regime, we are strangling them with our blockade. We're letting the other ships go. It's Iran that's bombing everybody, right? So our blockade and their blockade, not the same. They are committing acts of terror. We are committing acts of justice. And we are only doing it specifically against our literal enemies that we're at war with, by the way. All right? So, based, actually. Yeah, fuck these guys. No, I'm tired of like these false equivocations are insane.
So look, the time's come for Iran to make a sensible choice. And it's not easy for them to do that, obviously, because they have a fracture in their own leadership system. And apart from that, I mean, the top people in that government are, to say the least, they're insane in the brain. And so we need to address that, and it's difficult because it's hard to get past that in their system. But it's important for them to make a sensible choice and the one that's right for their people. The president, our president, has proven time and again that his preference is peace. But Iran must accept the reality of this situation.
Yeah, the peace president is the guy that's like, I would really like to make peace and get everything I want. If not, we'll do war and I'll get everything I want. Now, to understand, we're going to get everything we want. It can either be peace or war. That's why he's the peace president. Based, actually. I prefer peace through strength over wars through weakness every single day.
Come to the negotiation table and accept terms that are good for them, but ultimately good for the world. The diplomatic path, if there's a real diplomatic path, I'm not sure it's going to be one, but if there's a real diplomatic path and we continue to explore it, Steve and Jared are working on that very hard. If there is one there, it could be one that leads them to reconstruction, to prosperity, and to stability, and to not posing a threat to the world.
They just have to stop being gay retards.
Is growing isolation, economic collapse, and ultimately total defeat.
That's right.
I know what the right choice is for Iran.
They have two
I hope
options.
that the people over there make
They have two options. Either they agree to get rid of all their shit and completely humiliated and die, or they die without, agreeing. All right, so they either agree to lose or they lose without agreeing. Those are the two options, and it's actually based to win wars.
Decisions will make the right one. The last point I would make, and it really is important for them to understand this, is they really shouldn't test the will of the United States, at least not under President Donald Trump. He has proven time and again that he will back up what he says. And if they test him, ultimately they will lose. The hard way, the easy way, the long way, the short way, they will lose. And with that, it's time for your questions. So, Catherine, why don't we start with you first?
Hi, Catherine Harich. I'm an independent journalist. Secretary Rubio, have you seen any recent indications that Iran is willing to give up its nuclear weapons program that is credible, verifiable, and that would lead to an immediate de-escalation?
Well, look, this is a long-standing problem for them, right? I mean, they have wanted, they have always said they don't want a nuclear weapon. That's because they've always said that, they just don't mean it. And
right.
why do you
they say it and they lie. No, I can't stand listening to the press do their best to manipulate this shit. I'll link his full press briefing in the description. He spends another 30, 40 minutes arguing and yelling at reporters, probably. I do all the research. Rubio was right about everything that he said. This dude's going to be the next president of the United States. Now, Trump's ops are falling apart big time, all of them. Ever since this Iran conflict started, where we killed terrorist pedophiles that have been trying to kill us for the last 47 years, a lot of the people on the Trump train immediately stabbed him in the back. All right, they were very happy to turn tail, and it didn't work out well for any of them. For any of them. A lot of people are currently, pooping all over Nick Fuentes, Tucker Carlson, Alex Jones, Megyn Kelly, all the people that backstabbed him, claiming that he betrayed his base when he didn't. All right, to be clear, this isn't me disagreeing with all the policies of all the people that I'm about to mention. This is me saying that Donald Trump has been saying for 40 years that Iran cannot have a nuclear weapon. He's doing exactly the thing that he's always said he was going to do, and these people stabbed him in the back. And part of, in my opinion, one of the most elaborate psyops on American media. Don't fall for it. I didn't. If you're watching this video, then you probably didn't either, because I've been on top of this the entire time. But things are going badly for everyone. All right, so first, Nick Fuentes, this is brutal.
I care about affordability. I care about foreign interventions. I care about the border. I'm a non-woke moderate Democrat. I think the GOP needs to be destroyed. I think the corrupt criminal government of Trump needs to be slowed down. We need to impeach the orange. It's time to put this nigga in a peach. Trump needs to be placed inside of a crystal. He needs to be impeached. This fat orange tiny hands needs to be impeached.
This is literally Democrat talking points. It's the craziest thing I've ever seen. It's the craziest thing ever. Like, The only thing he cares about is Israel. All right, he wants Iran to win the war against the United States because it means Iran, the terrorists in the region, will still be able to terrorize Israel. That's literally his whole policy. And he's like, let's get the Democrats in power, impeach Trump, import infinite illegals. You know, under Trump, this is the first time in my lifetime that there's net negative migration in this country, by the way. All right, import infinite illegals, open the border, COVID-2, the hantavirus is coming, ladies and gentlemen. Everyone will get locked up in their houses while we get a new batch of 30 million illegals in the country to steal votes, to redistrict, to increase the Supreme Court rules from 8 judges to 13 judges. All right, so that we 9 judges to 13 judges. Understand that that is what the Democrats' plan is. Their plan is to steal the country forever. And this is insane. He's a non-woke, moderate Democrat. What are we doing, man? Now, again, just to understand, this is him endorsing.
So what is the alternative?
This is him endorsing the woke left Democrat for governor in Ohio because he doesn't like Vivek Ramaswamy. Now, to be clear, I don't like Vivek Ramaswamy for election either. He seems like a nice guy. We'll talk about that a little bit later. But this is him going for the Democrat. This is unbelievable, man.
What is the alternative? Well, not everybody's going to like this. But in November, there's going to be 2 candidates that can win on the ballot in Ohio. And it is Acton on the Democrat side and Ramaswamy on the Republican side. If it can't be Ramaswamy, I think you know what it has to be. And so I'm going to be calling on everybody to be going to Ohio, and we're going to give people a choice. You have an option. Stay home. But I think if you really want to make a difference and help, we're going to have to hold our noses. And we're going to have to vote Democrat.
So again, like so many people are saying that he's a Democrat plant at this point. I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm still agnostic on that one. I don't think he's a Democrat plant. I just think he has a, in my opinion, slightly retarded view of American politics. But I do think the Democrats are absolutely doing their best to astroturf people like Nick Fuentes, basically make him like the face of the right, because he's telling them to vote for Democrats. Oh my God! Oh my God! Get infinite. Yeah, tell the people in Ohio they should really love the new Haitian communities that are going to be moving in right after Amy Acton wins for governor. All right, I hope they enjoy the infinite mosquification of Ohio because at least an Indian guy didn't win. Now the craziest part is this was him endorsing Vivek Ramaswamy for president.
And 07 Vivek, the avatar of destruction. We love you. I do support Trump, but you're awesome. You got to run in 20. After Trump wins, you got to run in 28. Honestly, I'm on board for a Vivek 28. I'm on board for a Vivek presidency. I think the ideal primary in 2028 is Kanye West and Vivek Ramaswamy. W America. And
right,
07
so,
Vivek.
Like, flip-flop Fuentes, as they call him, because this is crazy. This is insane. To be clear, I think Vivek is probably a nice guy. I don't want him in our political office at all. I do not want anchor baby to be in our politics at all whatsoever, period. I have always said that, but this is wild. And Red Pill Media, right? Nick Fuentes officially endorses Democrat Amy Acton for governor of Ohio over Vivek Ramaswamy. I am with Nick Fuentes, coming from Red Pill Media. For those of you unaware, Red Pill Media is run by a guy who lives in Karachi, Pakistan. Right, so just understand what the base right-wing anti-Trump voices are right now. Right, Candace Owens says, we need to continue to fix the fracture between the left and the right. We now know what true evil is. It is us against the Epstein class and the warmongers. She is literally still a leftist. She was a leftist. She's still a leftist. Democrats be like, we need to import infinite illegals because we want to destroy white people. Candace Owens, we need to fix the fracture between the left and the right. Bro, the Democrats are the Epstein class. Those are the guys. 89% of Epstein donations went to Democrats. Epstein was pushing transgenderism. Epstein was pushing vaccination and quarantine for viruses. Epstein was pushing the infinite global migration of the entire world. The op has never been more obvious than it is right now. We need to fix the fracture between the left and the right. Absolutely, fix the fracture. You see, the left wants to jihad the right to death, and the right wants to not get jihaded to death. So obviously, we could definitely get these people to align. All right? Ian Carroll, another one of these, like, dissident right-wing fucks, complete retard. Both sides are tricked into caricaturizing each other. The left thinks the whole right wing is Ted Cruz, and the right thinks the whole left wing is Dylan Mulvaney. In reality, the vast majority of regular Americans on both sides are regular and reasonable people. Most people on the left are completely unaware of all the worst and most diabolical fringes of their party. Left-wing ideology is cancer. The feminism shit is cancer. It destroyed society completely and utterly. The infinite migration of the left is cancer. It destroyed society completely and utterly. The communism shit on the left is cancer. It destroyed society completely and utterly. And all of these things are anti-God, anti-Bible, right? The left's literally anti-Christian in every single possible way because Christianity is the foundation of Western civilization. That's what they push in schools. That's what they push in colleges. You know, sometimes it is black and white, that there is good and evil, and we do need to wake people up to realizing what good is and what evil is. So just understand, this gigantic psyop of all the podcasters and retards that backstab Trump to show up at the same time to be like, actually, we need to support the left? Holy shit. Candace, we need to work with the left. Ian, hey guys, the left and right, we should work together. Nick, I'm actually a non-woke moderate Democrat. Jake, I love Muslim communists now. Tucker, Sharia law is actually based, guys. Are we not noticing the obvious psyop? Like, what are we doing? Now, Tucker Carlson just went on a show. On the New York Times. New York Times, again, libtards extraordinaire. If the New York Times trips you up, then you're cooked. He got cooked, and it's honestly miserable. Like, this is one of the biggest voices right now for Pakistan. I'm sorry, I mean the base right wing.
This is not fine, is the truth. So again, long-winded answer to a short question, but the future that I imagine is not a future in which we're yelling at each other about race. It's a future in which people are legitimately revolutionary, maybe even violent on the basis of thwarted economic.
All right, so he's saying in the first one, you know, people should be violent.
Opportunity.
You said in our previous interview, the future that I imagine is not a future in which we're yelling at each other about race. It's a future in which people are legitimately revolutionary, maybe even violent on the basis of thwarted economic opportunity.
Well, I certainly didn't mean to endorse violence. I can't imagine I would never say that intentionally. I'm amazed that you have a tape of me saying that.
CARLSON strikes again. All right. Anyway, here it is again. He was just lying about everything he was saying here, and they kept catching him on these.
You know, you've been talking on your show about whether Trump is the Antichrist.
I have not said that.
On your show, the day after Easter, you noted he did not put his hand on the Bible during his swearing-in ceremony as president. You said, and I'm quoting, maybe he didn't put his hand on the Bible because he affirmatively rejects what's inside that book. And then on a recent show, you went further saying, here's a leader who's mocking the gods of his ancestors, mocking the God of gods and exalting himself above them. Could this be the Antichrist?
I actually did not say, could this be the Antichrist? Here's a leader who's mocking the gods of his ancestors, mocking the God of gods, and exalting himself above them. Could this be the Antichrist? Actually did not say, could this be the Antichrist?
I did not say it.
I don't know where that comes from, but I know that those words never left my lips.
I have never said
could this be the Antichrist?
Yeah, so it's just, it looks so bad for this guy. Every single one of these dudes that comes out swinging as like an anti-Trumper just completely destroys himself. Now, the funniest thing is, he did the same thing on Piers Morgan like a month ago.
Hamas is group of jihadis. They're Islamic extremists, which they also claim constantly, which I don't know if that's true, by the way. It seems more like a political organization.
Raised some eyebrows this week when you said that Hamas is more like a political organization than a terror group. That was on the new episode of your show when you were talking.
I didn't say that.
Hamas is...
I didn't say it. He's just a pathological liar. It's insane. And so Megyn Kelly, someone who, by the way, I was calling out a while ago, and I got so much shit for this. I got shit for all this, by the way. All right, I was literally thrown into the garbage, all right, over my criticisms of Candace Owens, Tucker Carlson, and Megyn Kelly, and I got so fucking vindicated on every single one of them. It's insane. It's crazy how vindicated this blue retard cartoon on the internet gets. And you should subscribe, because I'm just right about all the things, it seems. So, not to pat myself on the back or anything, but I just hate grifters. I hate grifters, fraudsters, liars, and psyops. I hate them. They're evil. All right, make no peace with evil. Lying is evil. Thou shalt not bear false witness, and that's what these people do every single day. All right, so this is Megyn Kelly trying to gaslight people about how Tucker Carlson's entire interview was so good, actually. You know, they were shredding him to pieces over this interview. This is her trying to psyop people into thinking it was actually great.
So Tucker sat down with Lulu, and Tucker handled himself, of course, very, very well.
JD has been subject to this is well known, but I'll just confirm it, nonstop treachery from people on the neoconservative side.
Who do you mean specifically?
You know, I don't know is the real answer. I don't know.
He was very deaf.
You know, you've been talking on your show about whether Trump is the Antichrist.
I have not said that.
On your show, you said, could this be the Antichrist?
I would never say this.
I actually did not say, could this be the Antichrist?
I never
Could
did.
this be the Antichrist?
I don't know where that comes from, but I know that those words never left my lips.
And any sort of would-be traps she was laying.
Oh, she tried
he
to
saw
lay
from a
traps,
mile
and he was able to dodge around them. He was literally dodging them like Neo in the Matrix.
The future that I imagine is not a future in which we're yelling at each other about race. It's a future in which people are.
Saw every enemy jutsu before it was even cast. Bro unlocked the Sharingan for this one.
Legitimately revolutionary, maybe even violent.
You said in our previous interview, the future that I imagine is not a future in which we're yelling at each other about race. It's a future in which people are legitimately revolutionary, maybe even violent.
I'm amazed that you have a tape of me saying that, and I just want to disavow it.
You're accusing people of treachery, so I'm wondering.
Well, I know there's been a lot of treachery for sure, and I know they were so mad about JD getting that job. I mean,
Who's they?
It's hard to really know.
Who's they? I don't know.
This is me looking skeptical.
Yeah, well, no, but it's me being honest. Like, I don't really know.
And Tucker handled himself, of course, very, very well.
I don't know where that comes from. I'm amazed.
Like, this is just sad, bro. This is just sad, bro. It's so sad. It's really sad. Now, in my opinion, that wasn't even the saddest part of the interview. Okay, now before I get to the rest of the Megyn Kelly meltdown, all right, in my opinion, the worst part of the interview was this clip, and I didn't see anyone talking about it, basically. All right, you're not ready for what you're about to witness. This is him saying that Donald Trump, because he was a super big supporter of Donald Trump, actually. Originally, he was a big supporter of Donald Trump, and then after Trump lost in the 2020 election, allegedly, then he backstabbed Donald Trump with released text messages saying he's so happy he doesn't have to think about Trump anymore. And then when Trump won again, then he showed up again to talk about how Trump is awesome.
You have two parties. They should not agree with each other on the biggest questions. Because if they do, someone's getting left out of the equation, and that person is you. Someone needs to represent you on the big issues, the things that actually matter. Not just on swimmers at some state college, but like on real issues. And anyway, just make them obey. I think that's up to us. Don't be charmed by them. Force them. Spank them like the bad little girls they are. Thank you. You have two parties.
Yeah. So this is him. He's so excited. Donald Trump is president. He's going to spank them like the bad little girls they are. Weird. But now he's explaining why he was super supportive of Trump, actually.
Instead, you know, there were a lot of cowardly people, as there always are, and Trump engenders cowardice in the people around him through intimidation. And there is a kind of quality that he has that's spellbinding. And I think it probably literally is a spell.
Donald Trump is literally using spells to get people on his side.
And the effect is to weaken people around him and make them more compliant and more confused. And I've experienced this myself.
Trump spellcasted Tucker Carlson, guys. Like, we are witnessing a victim of spellcasting.
Trump, and sort of like you're in this kind of dreamland. It's like
he puts you in a genjutsu the moment you walk in. Bro, you walk in and you're cooked. It's over already. You get confundus charmed just by being in his basic vicinity.
Something. It's interesting. Very interesting. And there may be a supernatural component to it. I'm not a theologian, but it's real.
He's not a theologian, but there's a very real supernatural spellbinding component to being around Donald Trump. What are we doing? Some kid in Pakistan is so excited that Tucker Carlson is finally exposing Donald Trump. Now, Megyn Kelly, who's trying to get views of Tucker Carlson's audience because she's a giant grifter that supported transgender surgeries for children in 2016 and pivoted to becoming like some conservative anti-feminist, even though she's always been a feminist. Right? So this is her claiming that she's so excited about Tucker Carlson's new audience that's getting brought over to her channel.
Once he said that he's sorry that he endorsed Trump, he regrets it, and feels like he has to make amends. And his show is doing fine. It's not like he's hurting for audience, but I think he's understanding there may be some new listeners over here. You know, like,
oh boy, new listeners.
Like, he's gotten very, very popular lately, I read, with Muslim viewers.
Wow, this is exactly what we want in our conservative party. Holy shit.
Because he's been standing up for Islam, you know? And
that's true. That's true. He even stood up for Islam when they were massacring Christians in Nigeria. That was definitely a twist. I didn't see that one coming.
I have to tell you, Mark, it's been something I've noticed just since I've gotten sort of more clear-eyed on Israel that a lot of the...
She's gotten clear-eyed on Israel when the views were in that direction. She's like, wow, the Muslims are fucking awesome, actually. I love when they rape kids. It's amazing.
Anti-Muslim rhetoric that's put out there originates with people who are very, very pro-Israel,
That's right.
who kind of need us
That's
to demonize them.
See, the Jews manipulate the Christians to demonize the Muslims. It totally has nothing to do with the Muslims raping millions of girls in England, or, you know, flying planes into buildings or shit, or blowing themselves up. You know, that has nothing to do with it, actually. You know, the massacre of Christians throughout all of the Middle East, in every single Middle Eastern country, aside from Israel, the massacre of Christians in all those countries by Muslims is a Jewish op, actually.
Right. And I've taken a look recently at my own retic on this to say, like, have I been manipulated? I want to make sure I'm not getting manipulated. But I think
Was she manipulated on Islam? On Islam?
Having a lot of Muslim viewers flock to him. I know for a fact he has a lot of young men.
And she's like, whoa, I need to get these Muslim viewers immediately.
Flocking to him. And so while he may have lost some contingent of the Fox News audience that's very, very pro-Israel and you know, pro-Trump, and you can't say anything about...
The crazy thing is, I think most Americans are neutral on Israel, all right? And I think anyone that's super invested, either pro or against, is a fringe. You know, the honest truth is, Israel's an ally of ours in the Middle East. They help us with situations over there, and they really don't encroach on our actual life that much. We give them way too much money, and I would like to stop all foreign funding, if possible, just to be clear. But the reality is, no, I don't think that the people that are asking questions about the Islamification of New York City and of Dallas, Texas, and of Dearborn, Michigan, I don't think those people are being opped by the Jews. You know, I'll be real here. I think this is insane.
Trump. For every one of those who leaves, there is another newer, younger audience member
Muslim
who does want to hear these traditional lines challenged.
She's like, yo, we could just replace conservatives with Muslims. She just says it out loud, man. Like, I don't even need to say it. This is crazy. And this is her backflip on Islam.
Islam is not consistent with the values of America, of the West.
This isn't even from years ago. This is from less than 6 months ago.
Should stay in countries that don't care about keeping church and state separated. They should stay in countries that don't care about protecting free speech. They should stay in countries that don't care about women's rights. That's where Islam can fester and grow. It's great. I mean, I'm sure if that's like your thing and you don't care about like genital mutilation, you might really enjoy living in an Islamic country. If you don't mind living in a life as a woman where you have to keep every inch of your body except for your eyeballs covered, yeah, someplace in the Middle East could be for you. It's not my thing. It's not America's thing. And it's not a thing that we should want or encourage in the West. I think he's understanding there may be some new listeners over here. You know, like,
wow.
Like he's gotten very, very
replacement theory, but for podcast viewers.
Popular lately, I read, with Muslim viewers.
Yo, that's huge. That's insane. You know, Stephen Crowder says, just a thought, maybe the anti-Muslim sentiment actually comes from the fact that 198 million Muslims worldwide support the use of violence against civilian targets to defend Islam. That probably has nothing to do with it. It's probably a coincidence.
Do you mean the traditional lines like Islam is the religion of peace and to question it is Islamophobia, which we had to live under? By the way, we got that from George W. Bush as well, and certainly an entirely complicit media, to be clear. Do you mean that? Because that's what we've been questioning. She's just, and the people who have really pushed this line of thinking, pro-Israel and have to, well, okay, what if someone happens to be pro-Israel, but it's irrelevant to their view of Islam? There are plenty of people, by the way, who are not pro-Israel who have the same view of Islam. Let me ask you, say these lines were pushed.
It's like, it's not even a view of Islam. They say it themselves. It's like the preachers in their mosques say it themselves. They show up and they're like, we're going to enter every home. We're going to convert every house in America will have Islam inside of it. All right, we will wage war on the world. We tried to wage war through swords. We lost miserably because we're 85 IQ inbreds. But now we're waging war through the ballot box. It's either the ballot or the bullet. We will conquer the world. This is Muslim Brotherhood doctrine, like open and shut, so obvious. This is crazy.
By those who are pro-Israel. Does that change the facts? Does it change the fact that, let me ask you this,
All right, again, I feel like a lot of people are taking Megyn Kelly on her word here, and you shouldn't, because she's lying to you. That's what grifters do. She was pro-transgender mutilation of children when in 2016, all right? And then she realized how unpopular that was, and the grift changed, and she became Fox News, generic right-wing bimbo, all right? Like, again, you understand. She just realizes, holy shit, I can get, like, a huge audience from Karachi, Pakistan immediately. All I have to do is blame the Jews on the hate of Islam, and boom. And that's what happened. It's so obvious, actually. And it is probably a coincidence that Megyn Kelly is losing an average of 1,000 subscribers a day on her YouTube channel. Probably a coincidence that she is now looking for a brand new audience. Probably just funny. So Alexander Dugin, one of the massive Tucker Carlson friends, he shows up on Tucker Carlson's podcast all the time because he's like radically pro-Russia, like to the extreme. All right, so this dude, the based Tucker Carlson homie, whites, they are destroyed in the world and themselves. To be white means to be a nihilist. It is a self-hatred race. It caused so much troubles to support and to itself. It lost the right to be something. No arguments to support their existence. All right, so we have this dude literally excited about the destruction of white people. This is your based right-wing guy that's on Tucker Carlson's show all the time. And now you want to know the funniest part. I am more white than almost all of you. I am Indo-European Aryan and proud of it. You are the wrong Aryans, liberal, weak, pervert. You are modern. This kind of whiteness is a shame. Real whites are the Iranians, Indians, and Evolians. The rest are trash. White people need to be destroyed. Unlike real white people, like Indians. This is Tucker Carlson's guy. The guy that's pushing all the pro-Russia shit on Tucker Carlson's show. Are we serious? Are we serious? Now, the crazy thing is, Charlie Kirk died. He was assassinated brutally, and all of his friends immediately danced on his grave to make believe that they knew the real him and push the opposite message that he pushed his entire life.
I have really started, as you know, speaking more and more about Islam.
If you want to talk about how Islam mistreats women, we could talk all day long. Because you brought up female genital mutilation, which is a teaching of the Islamic faith.
Most Muslim majority countries, you cannot criticize the Prophet Muhammad. Muhammad, the greatest man ever to live, the greatest example, was a warlord who married a 6-year-old, raped her when she was 9, and then kept multiple wives. Remember President Donald Trump openly ran on a Muslim ban into the United States of America?
Total and complete shutdown of Muslims entering the United States until our country's representatives can figure out what the hell is going on.
Do you think Islam is compatible with Western civilization?
Absolutely not.
You get rid of Christianity, and then, even more dangerous, you go from secularism then to Islam. Because then you're like, well, we have...
Right, so all of his friends, this is a compilation, this is a 5-minute long compilation of Charlie Kirk saying this, you know? Just to be clear, this is all of his so-called friends immediately, the moment he's assassinated, cannot wait to immediately defile his corpse in the most heartbreaking way ever. The militants had disguised themselves as civilians to mingle among the unsuspecting Christian mourners. At least 60 people killed in attacks across Eastern Democratic Republic of Congo. This happened today. I basically everything that I show you in my videos are new things that just happened. I am a breaking news guy for the most part, doing my best to sift through the misinformation. So this just happened in the Congo, and it's literally like not even talked about. No one even cares, and it's heartbreaking. You know, it really is. It's absolutely heartbreaking. This is not just happening in the Congo either. It's the Congo, it's Sudan, it's Nigeria, it's Syria, it's Iraq. It's in all of these places, man. And Christians are getting massacred by Islamists with not only the deafening silence from people like the Pope or people like the Tucker Carlsons, but like the people that are out there trying to make believe they care about human rights, just ignoring the most obvious human rights violations in the entire world, which is all coming from Islam. It's pretty wild watching them glaze them this much. So yes, the Trump ops are falling apart massively right now. Even Alex Jones called for Donald Trump's impeachment, and what can I say, bro? He lost his company.
So apparently Alex Jones is signing off from the Infowars studio.
Just for context, Alex Jones right now has to pay almost $1 billion in damages after his Sandy Hook defamation case, and so he had to sell all of his Infowars brand, which apparently has now been acquired by The Onion for millions.
Look at this.
I never bluff, folks. If you knew what we had, the whistleblowers, the documents, we have royal flushes. They are screwed to the moon. We are committed, and if God stands with us, who can stand against us? And that's how I close out. What a crew. The hell we've been through has only made us stronger. Let me ask you, would you have any other way? No! Are you not stronger now in this fight? Yeah! I salute this crew and all the viewers and listeners to this fight. God bless you all. That's it. The next phase starts. The real war begins now.
Oh boy, the real war begins now. So anyway,
yeah. So again, I think it's heartbreaking. Yeah, I'm sad, to be honest, that this dude is losing Infowars. But listen, man, when Tucker Carlson, that Donald Trump has like evil spellcasting abilities, and all the people that go up against him get absolutely obliterated, maybe bro is cooking. And the winning doesn't stop for Donald Trump. Every single person he endorsed won their race yesterday. This is like, it's huge news. Like, this is absolute insanity. The media just doesn't want to talk about it because people don't want to acknowledge the fact that Donald Trump is still a wildly popular president, a wildly influential guy, and a dude that for the most part does the right things. The media, even the PSYOP media on the conservative side, are doing their absolute best to convince you that Trump is losing a war in Iran and that no one likes him in America and everything's miserable. Anyway, hopefully all of the great Republican people of Louisiana, which I won big 3 times, will be voting Cassidy out of office in the upcoming Republican primary. President Donald J. Trump. All right, basically all of the Republican rhinos that have been voting against Trump the entire time. All right, he's like, all right, we're getting rid of all of them now. Oopsie poopsie, that sucks. Now, a lot of people on the left are being like, oh, this is Trump, just upset that people aren't agreeing with him, so therefore he's sabotage. I'm sorry, this is democracy. They're getting voted out democratically. This is not an authoritarian move to advise people to vote for people that more align with your values. I am so tired of like the libtard media trying their best and winning the propaganda war against the normies by making everything sound like it's some sort of authoritarian, tyrannical thing. Oh, Trump doesn't like these politicians and he's getting them to lose their elections. Yeah, he is letting the world know that these people are fighting against the best interest of the United States of America, and the people are removing them. This is what we call in the business based as fuck, actually. I love how all these people like keep using authoritarian as some sort of, oh my God, it's so authoritarian. He lost an election and left. Wow. Wow. So is the U.S. a force for good or evil in the world? Was a poll that was just done. Force for good, 51%. Force for evil, 24%. Obviously, Republican force for good is plus 62, and Democrat force for evil is plus 2, which is insane. It just shows you that, obviously, the Democrats aren't going to fight for our country if they think our country's literally evil. All right, that's the giant psyop that's been pulled on all these guys. Our country actually is a force for good, not just a force for good. It's objectively probably the biggest force for good any country has ever been in the history of the world. I could give a bajillion examples for this, but I don't even feel like I need to, because there's no way that anyone watching my videos actually thinks our country is evil. Our country, based on a biblical foundation, stopping wars, the humanitarian aid, the welfare shit, the helping the world, the freedom of speech, which really didn't exist until us, by the way. I mean, an obvious example of being a force for good, the people in Venezuela, they love us after we toppled their dictator. The people in Iran, they love us after we obliterated their evil regime. The people in Cuba are praying for us to come and help them. Listen, man, we are very, very helpful people, actually. The people that say that we're a force for evil, in my opinion, they fell for the giant grooming psyop movement of the left that hates God and hates our values and honestly wants us destroyed. Just understand, we cannot unite with people that think that we're evil, like on a fundamental level. All right, now, if you look at the Hispanic votes, in 2018, it was plus 40 for Democrats, 2020, plus 27, plus 2022, plus 21, 2024, plus 9, 2026, plus 2. That's right. We are only years away from the Democrats trying to build a wall. The Democrats are going to be building a wall very soon because the Latinos are becoming Republicans, because the left are crazy, psychopathic, child castrating, retard, dipshit pedophiles. Not all of them, just some of them. Vivek, all right, so we got to talk about this. Vivek Ramaswamy is an Indian guy. He's running for governor of Ohio. He won every single county. His primary challenger did not win a single county in all of Ohio. Now, there were multiple reasons for this, but we need to get into it. So, first and foremost, I just want to make my stance here clear. Again, I think Vivek Ramaswamy is probably a nice guy. I don't want him in our government. I don't. This dude keeps preaching the message that if you're French people are France is for the French, and Japan is for the Japanese, and China is for the Chinese, but America is for everybody. That is not a message that I like at all, actually. I don't think we should be electing foreigners in our office, in office whatsoever in our country. It's dangerous. It's like an actual national security threat, in my opinion. So Vivek Ramaswamy, endorsed by Nick Fuentes to be president in 2028, by the way, won every single county in Ohio. His primary challenger didn't win one. Now, the reason why this is actually incredible, as we'll get to in a second, just to understand what's going on, the South Carolina House Rules Committee voted to amend the signed-die agreement to follow the redistricting. All right, so redistricting is happening. So this is the potential new map where Republicans will get 7 seats and Democrats will get 0. All right, that's pretty fucking insane, actually. That's awesome. All right. Oh, and like everyone's saying that it's unconstitutional. This isn't gerrymandered. This is really not gerrymandered at all. All right. Not compared to the Democrat states where everything's just squiggly fucking lines, where they just basically draw little circles around black communities to give them Democrat wins everywhere. All right. This is actually just a normal districting situation. And yeah, we're going to win them. And that's awesome, actually. Sorry, fucks. It's going to be bad for you. So tonight, Vivek Ramaswamy won all 88 counties in the Republican primary for governor. He won all 88 counties by over 40 points. 40 points! That's crazy! Now, I'm going to show you why. So Casey Pooch is the guy that was mainly running against him. This Casey Pooch guy is a bit of a retard. And more than that, he's an anti-Trump retard. All right, he posted videos of him burning the MAGA hat. He was trying to follow the online, like, retard right perspective of Trump is bad, actually. Here was my MAGA flag. This is how Trump voters feel. How does everyone in America get their country back from these left and right psycho billionaires? Right, everyone pushing this, like, Candace Owens level propaganda of we need to fix the fracture between the left and the right. We need to fix the fracture of the left and the right. It's us against the Epstein class. Right, now, this is a huge psyop, and no one is falling for it, actually, right? And that's, in my opinion, the craziest part. I'm so proud of my fellow American people, right, that believe in freedom of speech, that have the ability to do their own research, and that aren't falling for the most obvious grift of all time, these retard, so-called right-wing people like Tucker Carlson, who's pro-Islam, or Candace Owens, who's pro-Islam, or for some reason, don't ask me how or Nick Fuentes, who's voting for Democrat now. No one's falling for this shit. Literally no one, right? Ultimately, this dude got obliterated. He got the Trump curse, right? Bro lost every single district in the entire state. Brutal. Now, to understand, in Indiana, every rhino who lost in Indiana tonight had been defeated in a 20-point landslide. That is insane, by the way. Now, understand, the rhinos, these guys are the anti-Trump Republicans that are there already, right? They were all the shoo-ins to win, but Trump endorsed their opponents, and every single one of them won. Bloodbath for the rhino incumbents in Indiana. Let this be a lesson. Every single one of them slaughtered, absolutely slaughtered. Just in, Republican state senators in Indiana who rejected Trump's calls to redraw their congressional maps are all losing their seats tonight. Trump endorsed their primary opponents and they're dropping like flies. That's insane, actually. The tremendous patriots in Indiana's 19th state district, please get out and vote for an amazing candidate, Blake Feicher, a highly respected Bluffton City councilman and true America First champion who has my complete and total endorsement. Early voting ends May 4th and election day is May 5th. This is a very important Republican Party for SD 19. You can win this election for Blake, unlike incumbent Travis Holdman, a rhino loser. God, he's so fucking based. It's crazy. Who has failed the wonderful people of Indiana so badly. Blake Fletcher is a winner who will never let you down. Get out and vote for Blake Fletcher by May 5th. And they did. They did in droves, and the guy won. Honest to goodness, incredible W. And this is how you change America, by the way. It's not for voting for Democrats. It's by holding your actual Republican Congress people and shit accountable by voting them out if they failed. And they should all be terrified that the next person that shows up, if he's a little more based, he's gonna fucking win. This is how you change America. Of course, every single leftoid outlet on the planet is talking about how Trump demands complete loyalty because he's a cult leader. No. You misunderstand. Trump didn't fire him. He lost an election. The American people demand loyalty to the American people. Otherwise, they're going to lose. All right? And as much as the media wants to spin it into some sort of authoritarian thing, oh, it's a cult because Trump demands loyalty and he didn't give him. No. You don't understand how elections work, libtard media. The people demand loyalty to America, and this guy failed, so this guy's gonna fucking get obliterated. And that's how it's gonna work. And every single politician should understand that they are working for us. First and foremost, they are our employees. We are the boss. We decide whether they live or die, proverbially speaking, of course. We're not leftists. We don't kill our political opponents. Well, we are taking our country back little by little, step by step. The judges, the elected officials, these fuckers are going down. Is it going to happen overnight? No. But will it happen eventually? Yes. Because we demand loyalty to America. And if you refuse to give that to us, you're going to be out of a job very soon. Trump won Indiana by 20 points. Republican controls 70% of the Indiana House, 80% of the Indiana Senate. When GOP voters demanded fair maps, Indiana Republicans betrayed them and laughed in Trump's face, and they all got fired. Lesson to the GOP: play to win or go home. That's right. The American people are tired of these limp-dicked retards in the Republicans. Look, I've said this before and I'll say it again. The Republican Party is absolutely the worst party in all of America, aside from the Democrats. And we need to fix this shit immediately by getting as many radical, far-right motherfuckers in Congress as possible. Nux, you want far-right people? Yeah. Far-right people are awesome. So this is Republican State Senator Travis Oldman, who lost by over 20 points, not taking it very well, obviously.
How do you feel?
Well, I have one lesson for people. Revenge and retribution is not a Christian value. And that's what this was all about.
This is about revenge and retribution? Why? That the people actually wanted politicians to work for them? That's 1. And 2, retribution is absolutely a Christian value. I don't know if you've ever read the Bible. What are we talking about? Retribution is very Christian. What do you mean?
And I'm not bitter about it. It's just a fact.
I'm not bitter about it. You guys are bad Christians.
And there's life after serving in the Indiana Senate, and I'm going to find out what it's like. So.
Well, that sucks for you, I guess. Anyway, these Indiana Republicans dared to buck Trump. Will they survive? Right, so this was posted right before the election, 6 a.m. on May 5th. And update for you guys. Y'all got obliterated. That's right, motherfuckers. You vote against the interests of America, and you're going down. Oh my God, but this authoritarianism is they're trying to redistrict in order for the Republicans to have power forever. Yes. And again, my favorite comment every time is the guy that's like, you're okay with Republicans trying to have power, but you're not okay with Democrats trying to have power? Correct. I'm happy when the good guys win, and I am unhappy when the bad guys win. That is correct. Very astute political observation there, young sir. My dream is to constitutionally elect a whole lot of, honestly, religious individuals that believe in God, put God first, get their actual moral compass from the Bible, and put those guys in office to make decisions, moral decisions that I could count on for our country, and that those people could come together and democratically vote to abolish democracy and bring back our republic roots so that all the retards cannot actually vote. Yeah, I think that ending universal suffrage would be awesome, and the 19th Amendment should go bye-bye, and that'll only happen with strong men that get elected by other strong men to actually stand up for our values. Look, I'm not going to beat around the bush here and make believe I'm going to sit here and whine and cry about winning a lot. Actually, I think winning is awesome, actually, and we should do it as much as we can, to prevent the other guys from winning. Because the alternative is we get absolutely raped by infinite third world migrants. Where an entire civilization of women don't want to get married and abort their children, and an entire civilization of men are weak, limp-dicked, and alone. This is the Democrat utopia that I'm not willing to live through, so we have to fucking destroy them. Peacefully and non-violently, we have to obliterate them. Vance goes out there, casts his ballot in the Ohio primaries, cracking a joke, right? Right, so based that he's going to vote. Okay. Love that.
Does it matter which side of them is?
Right, so he's going to vote. Very cool.
He voted for the Easter Bunny or the Tooth Fairy, which is a risky choice because he's got a loose tooth. So
very cute. Anyway, so he voted for Vivek Ramaswamy, obviously. But this is the issue. Indians in Ohio removed the American flag and raised the flag of India as a sign of India conquering America. I don't know if that's the sign, but that's definitely what it looks like. All right, like just understand, because Vivek Ramaswamy, Indian guy, he won the Republican primary by a landslide, and the Indians are like, oh, let's go, let's put up Indian flags instead of American flags. It's like, listen, man, I understand where your allegiance lies at this point, and that's why we can't have foreigners in office. Now, I am not surprised that J.D. Vance, who married a Hindu Indian lady, voted for a Hindu Indian man. Don't get me wrong, I am not confused by that whatsoever. I do understand the reality here. And that's why I think Rubio's our guy in 2028, not Vance. I'm not going to lie. Look, if Vance wins, I won't cry. I think Vance is pretty based. But I think Rubio's our guy. I do not want our country to be a little pool for third worlders to stick their hands in and steal shit from. All right, and you'll notice, like, a lot of these third worlders that end up coming into our country for some reason end up doing all sorts of fraud type shenanigans. All right, so this is a massive public records audit of Congressman Ro Khanna. All right, this is the guy from one of those fucking countries. All right, just look at this shit. This is just examining very suspicious behavior. Just to understand what I mean. Like, this guy's going to jail. All right, this is big. This is really freaking big. Now, just to understand leftist policy, this is Katie Porter. She is running for mayor in California. So it's pretty bad, actually. Pretty awful, I would say. And it's very, very in line with leftist policy. You're going to lose your mind when you see this. Did I say mayor? I meant governor. Governor of California. I think I said mayor by accident. All right, so just look at this. Look at what her platform is.
Go ahead. It's the job of the California governor to protect every single Californian. The sanctuary state policy is designed to make sure that our state resources, the taxpayer dollars, the public servants that we have are focusing on doing their jobs, which is not cooperating with the federal immigration authorities. These are Californians. They contribute to our economy. They pay taxes, and they're one of the only ways that our state has been growing in recent years.
That might be one of the wildest admittances I've ever seen in my life. She just admitted that the only way California is growing is through illegal aliens, not through actual people. The actual Californians are leaving. Obviously, they don't want to pay infinite taxes to woke bullshit government, which just exists to give little crack pipes to hobos. All right, they don't want to deal with that shit. All right, so they're leaving. All right, so the craziest part is she is not only talking about how she wants the government, the taxpayer money to go to illegal aliens, but she admits that the only way California is growing is through illegal invasion. All right, so then they ask, would you give health care?
Statewide. Congresswoman Porter, your thoughts on the idea of funding health care for undocumented immigrants statewide?
Yes.
Yes,
and that's, by the way, what I think Californians deserve as answers to these questions.
That's fraud. That's fraud, though. Like, that means that we pay money to the government, our taxpayer dollars, and they take it, and they give that money to illegal aliens. And she admits it. She straight up says it herself. Like, this is the radical left push that's happening everywhere. It's wild. I can't believe she admitted that one of the only ways California's been growing in recent years is through illegal aliens. It's one of the craziest things I've ever seen. Now, this is her ad, her actual ad for governor, and it's one of the saddest things I've ever seen in my life.
I'm Katie Porter, and I'm not like most people who run for governor. I actually get what you're going through. A single mom of 3 kids, I know what it's like to push the shopping cart. My minivan has almost 200,000 miles. I have a grown kid who may soon be living on my couch. To give Californians what they need, it's going to take standing up to Donald Trump, calling out greedy corporations, and stepping on some toes along the way. Now, could you guys please get out of my shot?
Yeah, this is one of the worst political ads of all time. It's like, my son is a total loser, and my husband fucking sucks. I'm a girl boss. My children are miserable. I'm a terrible mom, and society's bad because of California policies. Now, the twist that a lot of people don't know is, I'm a single mom with 3 kids. Yes, Katie, because you physically abused your ex-husband. It's absolutely brutal. My son is a loser. Please vote for me. Yeah, anyway, now let's understand what the alternative is. So Spencer Pratt is also running here in California, and this is wild. Now, Spencer Pratt is running for LA mayor against Karen Bass, you know, the lady that was basically talking about how the fires in California, killing people and burning houses is like totally awesome and shit. All right, so you have to see this. Like, let's just understand the difference between Democrat advertisement, where it's like, tee-hee, I abuse my staff and my ex-husband and my son's a loser, please vote for me, versus right-wing ads.
Please, I'm begging you. There's homeless drug addicts in front of the schools. My children aren't safe.
Look, if you were a transgender migrant, I could get you a free pussy.
Let's move the drug addicts closer.
Bass already solved crime. I endorse her.
Next! Please, Spencer Pratt, save Gotham. Please! This is crazy.
Please, I just want to rebuild my home. It's been over a year.
Mom, look.
This is wild, dude.
This is a machine. If we want to burn this town to the ground,
Pull through that!
feel so close.
You can do it, Spencer!
Yeah, anyway, and then some copyrighted music, epic fight scene. You get the idea, but it's like, ultimately, I have plenty of complaints about the Republican Party. Don't get me wrong. They're not nearly based enough for my taste. I think most of them are just like old school libtards in Republican clothing and wallpaper. But things are changing. We are electing some people that do want to actually clean the fucking streets, deport the fucking illegals. Someone asked me yesterday, but Nux, what if you have a friend that's an illegal alien in the United States of America? Wouldn't you be sad if she was deported? I said, if she's illegal in the United States of America, she has to go. And bro literally crashed out on me. You have no humanity. Yeah, bro, she should have self-deported. All right, L friend, I guess. L bozo. What do you want me to do? Oh, no, a woman is crying. Tear up the Constitution. No, we don't do that shit here. Sorry, bro. My stance is America is the greatest country on the planet, and it's worth saving, and we're going to do it, and it's going to happen in my lifetime. We are going to vote for people that are going to be so, as the left calls them, far right, that they have never, ever encountered before in their life. We will bring back nuclear families and family values, and I pray centralized societies focusing on God first. We are going to deport the third world migrants. We are going to make America an awesome country. I wish Donald Trump was the authoritarian that the left thought he is, but he's not. All right, I'm really glad that he's shifting the Overton window. I do support Trump. I think he honestly improved America dramatically ever since his second term started. But if they think that Donald Trump is the final boss of what they call fascism, they have no fucking idea how radicalized I'd say my entire generation is at this point. These dudes are still arguing about trans men and women's sports, bro. We're building asylums. The left has no idea what's coming, because I think America is worth saving. Now, the leftoids are in absolute disarray. It's really bad for them because in the wake of just honestly Trump W's across the entire country, these guys are doing their best to not look completely insane, and they're failing miserably. So this is what Vance had to say, and he nailed it.
We have two parties in Washington, D.C. And I hate to say this because I was, raised by blue-collar union Democrats. My mama and papa, they said that, back when they were voting in the 80s and 90s, the man and woman who raised me, mama and papa said, we're for Democrats because Democrats are for working people. And I don't think that's true anymore, my friends.
He's right.
And it's a heartbreaking thing.
He's right. Right now, Democrats are for the illegal aliens. Democrats are for they, them. And Republicans are for you.
It's heartbreaking for a kid who came from a union Democrat family to realize that Democrats these days, they seem to care more about gender transition than they do about you keeping more of your hard-earned money. And I really do believe this, that there are Democrats like my mama and papa all over the great state of Iowa, but I hate to say it, and I hate to break it to you, but there are none left in Washington, D.C. The Democrats in Washington, D.C., they want to trade stocks, insider trading for money, just like Nancy Pelosi did.
Oh, shit!
The best part of the
oh, shit! You just straight up called her out?
State of Union address is when the President of the United States called out Nancy Pelosi for her stock trading, and I look over at her, and she has got the sourest look I have ever seen on a human being's face. It turns out Nancy Pelosi looks nothing less than being called out for her insider stock trading.
Oh my God, dude. And he's leading the fraud task force. Like, these people are going to jail, and it's really bad for them. All right, just to understand, we cannot have foreign nationals in office. This is going to be a major thing that we're pushing. All right, so this is Somali Maine state representative. All right, this is a congresswoman, Deka Dalak. All right, get a load of this one.
How can the politics in Somalia can be, resonate what we have here in the United States, the democracy that we have? How can you help us, be a better country and build back what we used to have back in long time ago?
Bro,
so hopefully we will be able to help our country, our former country, Somalia. Policy.
So again, she's basically using her platform to help Somalia. Like, this is insane. Like, this is traitorous shit. It really is. All right, so FBI is currently raiding the office of Luis Lucas, a Democrat. Obviously, a Democrat congresswoman, I think. The president pro tempore of Virginia State. That's huge. Especially because Donald Trump just learned no one is above the law, says Senator Luis Lucas. No one is above the law, eh? That's pretty funny, I think. Now, it's pretty insane watching this all over the place. Like, while the left is preaching for equality and shit, like, they are pushing, like, anti-civil rights shit constantly. Now, to understand, this is the CARE-CA leader, Zahra Bilou, given $40 million by Gavin Newsom.
Now, imagine your LinkedIn profile says, I hate all Zionists. Replace hate with
whatever inappropriate something I can't say here.
She means kill.
Not
she means she wants to kill all Zionists.
Strategic. Right? Like not,
right, you have to be strategic about your wording on how you want to jihad.
Not strategic. Nice. Now you may say that sitting around Kahwa House on a Friday night, but you're not going to say it on your LinkedIn. And so
that's right. Around the table, we all know you want to kill the Zionists based. However, on a public profile, you have to be more strategic about it.
So one, we have to do the basics. We have to remember that Allah protects us. And then strategic versus reckless. And this is a ongoing process. Now,
yeah, I love how they just straight up admit, yeah, we all want to kill them, but we're not allowed to say it out loud. Harmeet Dillon says, what? What? What is the Attorney General? What? Wow. Excuse me. Now, just to understand what we're dealing with in Congress, all right, because the Democrats basically became this clown show of foreigner retards trying to subvert our government for their own country's gains. All right, so this is Pramila Jayapal, Muslim. She calls herself a Palestinian, which is funny because there's no such thing as a Palestinian. But this is her literally admitting on camera, in my opinion, to be committing treason. This is crazy.
In January, Trump issued an executive order threatening tariffs on any country supplying fuel to Cuba. This was this January, just a few months ago. And oil shipments from Venezuela, that's where Cuba had been getting its oil.
Yeah, they've been getting free oil from the Venezuelan dictator, yeah.
Were halted after the U.S. operations to kidnap Nicolas Maduro.
No, we captured a terrorist criminal that was wanted. So it was awesome, actually. And now all of a sudden they're stopping to give money to the communist regime in Cuba.
Since January, only one Russian tanker of oil has made it to Cuba.
Yeah,
in fact, it landed just a couple of days before I landed. And one tanker has enough oil basically for 10 to 14 days of Cuba's oil needs. So it's a very limited amount of time. Now, Russia has said they're going to send another tanker. I was in conversations with the ambassadors from Mexico and some other places, and I know other countries in Latin America are trying to figure out how to get oil there.
Excuse me, what? Excuse me, what? You're communicating with foreign countries on how to supply Cuba with oil despite the fact that the U.S. has a sanction on it? This is treason. I don't know how else to say it.
It is a crisis beyond imagination.
Excuse me. Excuse me. What? Our country has sanctions on literally an adversarial power, and you are unilaterally working with foreign nations to bypass our sanctions? Excuse me, what? This is treason.
This past Friday on May 1st, Trump signed a broad executive order that widens sanctions and allows for new penalties similar to what we have for Iran and Russia.
That's right. No commies in our hemisphere, motherfucker. They're going to go.
Firms that are dealing with Cuba, and it also reinforces the ban on U.S. tourism.
Let's go.
I have called these sanctions an economic bombing of the infrastructure of Cuba.
Palestinian calls it bombing. Classic. We sanction a foreign power in our hemisphere, and she's like, we are literally bombing them the same way Israel literally genocided the Palestinians. Yeah.
It is illegal. It is against the war. We've been talking about this in Iran, obviously, to bomb the infrastructure of any country. That is against international law.
Yeah, but international law is fake and gay. And actually, you don't support it because you support Hamas, which violates international law. You support Iran, which violates international law. You support Cuba, which violates international law. You don't care about international law. You just hate America. And in my opinion, this is literally treason. And this is Democrat policy. Now, Obama had one of the greatest admittances of all time. Barack Obama has admitted his decision to speak out against Donald Trump has put a strain on his marriage. Obama is blaming his shitty marriage on Trump. He's the best to do it. He's the best to do it. Donald Trump is just the GOAT. He just is goated like that. Now there's a huge Muslim-only event at a taxpayer-funded Texas water park. That got backlash, obviously. That people weren't super happy about that because, obviously it's unconstitutional and fucking insane. But that's what it's like to be conquered territory. All right, so this is a pretty popular story right now. A lot of people are talking about it. This is a FedEx driver who pleaded guilty to kidnapping and murdering a 7-year-old, Athena Strand, and he's been sentenced to death. It's heartbreaking. It's just an absolutely heartbreaking story. But this is Democrat policy.
Mr. Horner, if you'd stand, please. It's the order of the court that you
Tanner Lynn Horner's been adjudged to be guilty of the offense of capital murder as found by the jury. Jury having answered the special issues making it mandatory that your punishment be death, it is therefore the order.
Base death penalty. Now, just to understand, you know, Matt Walsh says, I'm challenging any death penalty opponent. There are millions of them allegedly to step up to the plate right now, explain why this guy should not be executed. His guilt is established beyond any doubt whatsoever. His crime is utterly savage and heinous. Tell us why he doesn't deserve to die. Now, I'm actually very pro-death penalty. I see a lot of people that are against it. I disagree. God is pro-death penalty, actually, when he says in the Bible, like 5 separate times, anyone who takes a life should have his life taken in return. So, you know, I actually am very pro-death penalty. Of course, you have leftoid retards being like, he deserves to die, but killing people is wrong. It's that simple. Killing people is just wrong. What? All right, dude. This you. Happy New Year specifically to Luigi Mangione. This you, bro. This you. All right, again, it's like you can never trust leftists ever, actually, because their words are weapons. They don't actually believe anything. They have no moral foundation, and they're just evil, actually. I know a lot of people don't like when I say it, but it's just true. It's just true. So, again, Muslims in the UK are openly calling for the imposition of Sharia law. It's gotten really, really, really bad there, bro. It's really bad there. We'll talk about that a little later. But just to understand what this migration is doing to us and what, honestly, leftist policy is doing to us, Aaron Rose Phillip blames whiteness for a lack of trans, black, disabled models on runways.
When I first started working, I was an anomaly to the industry. Arguably, in many ways today, really, I still am. I think it's time to say the quiet part out loud. The fashion industry is unlikely to book or pay black trans feminine and or physically disabled models to do runway, editorial, and or campaign.
Because you're trans and disabled. You're mentally and physically retarded. So yeah. No one's gonna hire you for this, bro. And this is on TEDx Berkeley. It's like, understand the shit that's getting shoveled down people's throats. All right, so this is pro-Palestine and Islamist leftists clashing with New York's police, ramming barricades, Palestine flags. All right, Zohran Mamdani has nothing to say about this. Obviously, this just happened yesterday. By the way. This is the lawless bullshit that we just need to tolerate under fucking Islamist communist rule in New York. All right, it's so bad there, actually, so bad. All right, we have this guy, pro-Palestinian professor, a professor charged with murder, charged with death of Jewish demonstrator, and pleads guilty. He pleads guilty to murdering a Jewish guy, and he gets 1 year in jail. Understand where we're at. These are the people in college. This is a professor. This is a college professor. These are the people teaching our people. All right, just understand the psyop that's happening. So 13 top DC police officials are being benched after they cooked the books to make crime look like it was lower. Because, like, we have eyes. We see what's going on. All right, we see that the left-wing violence is insane. The Black Lives Matter violence, the pro-Palestine violence, the Mexico anti-ICE riots, the anti-Tesla riots. We see the violence. And the left is like, oh, they're leftists, so violence is much lower. Well, apparently they were just caught cooking the books on crime stats.
Here in the nation's capital, more than a dozen Metro police officers are being benched for allegedly cooking the books when it comes to crime stats. You may recall the president warned about...
So 13% of the population doing 50% of the crimes, that's after book cooking.
Cops doing just that when he sent the National Guard to clean things up in D.C. Now, for perspective, in 2023, Jesse, there were 274 murders reported. And violent crimes like carjacking, robberies, and everything like that, break-ins, they're all soaring to record levels. But since then, the city's doing better.
That's
the
right.
President, of course, sent the National Guard in, and even the
people crying about Donald Trump. Oh, Donald Trump, he's at war with Iran, and I don't support that. Yeah, there were 20% less homicides in the United States this year. And that's aside from the book cooking that they've been doing to make it look like it was even less. Like, just understand what's going on here. And again, because it's every single day, a man tried carjacking a car in Texas with a family inside, was shot dead by a based dad. He was an illegal alien from Mexico. But we're just supposed to make believe this is normal, actually. We're just supposed to make believe this is normal. So Nick Shirley went into New York City to just ask people if they know what they're protesting. And it's eye-opening.
New York City right now, standing outside of a Palestine protest. And today we're going to be asking these students why they are protesting. Because
So this is the protest that actually did get super uber violent and actually did end up with this giant clash with the police. later that night.
Seen videos, and I don't know if all these students understand exactly why they are here or if they're just joining the crowd. I want to know if they actually understand why they are protesting and see if they can give me any good answers. What are you guys out here protesting for?
No comment.
Why are you guys out here today?
Speak to the organizers.
Why can't I?
That's
I
right.
wanted to ask you though.
That's right.
Official statements from the organizers only.
That's right. We are protesting, but we are not allowed to tell you what we are fighting for. Only the organizers. And these people say that people that vote for Trump are in a cult? Holy shit.
In the simplest terms, why are you guys protesting? Why are you guys protesting today?
I'm okay, thank you. Yeah, I don't think it would be a good idea.
It would not be a good idea if we accidentally make it very clear that we have no idea what we're protesting about.
Why are you guys protesting?
Just to be a part of the cause.
Just to be a part of the thing. This is female groupthink, all right? This is a actual phenomenon that is happening in our nation. Statistically, women appeal to the majority way more than men. So this is how they manipulate a generation of women to just be part of the cause. Because you don't want to be left out. You don't want to be alone, right?
And what's the cause?
Yeah, I'm not the right person to talk to.
This is crazy.
Not our job to talk. We're just here to support. We are not the spokespeople of this event.
We're just here to support. Whatever.
The wrong people to talk to.
I'm not asking for the spokesperson. I'm just asking why you guys are protesting.
This is.
Even though we would call the police if we're in trouble.
NYPD is KKK. That's so weird because you guys fund the KKK.
Police are a repressive system. They do not do any good for any community.
Police do not do any good.
They are not stopping crime.
They literally are.
Police arrive after crime has been committed.
So therefore, they should just let the criminals do more crimes. But police don't stop crimes because you call them after crimes happen. This is crazy.
We fund the police as if they solve all the community's problems. We should defund the police and put that money towards community resources like mental health.
Yo, that's so real. The ISIS Muslim guy that said Allahu Akbar and then threw 2 bombs in New York City 2 weeks ago. All right, that motherfucker. If we would have just had free taxpayer-funded therapy, that dude wouldn't have done that.
Drug addiction rehabilitation, schools, community programs.
Yeah, all that shit makes it worse.
Keep people out of committing crimes. The cops.
Yeah, no, it wouldn't.
All they do is try to get as many brown and black people into the prison system because.
Yeah, but how do they get in the prison system? Is it if they do crimes? Like, no one actually wants to engage. It's like, the police keep getting black people arrested. Yeah. Yeah, they do. When they commit crimes. True. Yeah. Who in jail is in jail just because they're black? 0 people.
Mass incarceration these days is really just modern day slavery.
Holy shit. She's onto something. I hope so. I've been pushing for this for a long time. I don't think we should be just putting people in jail and feeding them 3 meals a day forever. Absolutely not. We need some modern day indentured servitude, ladies and gentlemen. We need to put these people to work. That's right. If you go to jail for a robbery, you got to work off that robbery. Absolutely. She's so real for that.
So,
man, I hope
even if
so.
I might call the cops if I need help, the cops, the police, the way that system runs. The police do more bad than they do good.
But you would call them if you needed help?
Yes.
So why are you guys protesting today?
I don't want to talk to press, I'm sorry.
I don't talk.
They don't really want to talk. Why are you guys protesting here today?
I don't want to do this, sorry.
We're asking people why they're protesting here today.
Because I want to see empire fall.
What empire?
America.
From the U.S. to Israel.
That's it. It's all every time. These people are just, they use Palestine as their Trojan horse to be anti-America, anti-Israel, anti-colonizers, which is just their word of being anti-biblical cultures.
The empire that's propped up by capitalism.
And
Free Palestine.
Dude, you don't understand, bro. Literally, capitalism is the opposite of empire because it doesn't mean that the king just stays the king because he's the king and his child takes over. Capitalism means that the hardest workers and the most effective, smartest people do rise to the top.
Free Congo, free Sudan, free Haiti.
Congo and Sudan are literally massacring people right now.
Free Hawaii, free Puerto Rico.
What are we freeing Hawaii from?
Liberation for all.
And why are they giving out masks right now? Why are they trying to cover everyone's faces? And why do you guys have the mask on right now?
Because, well, there's a police state, basically. And
basically there's a police state.
New York, there are CC.
God, I wish every one of these people's fears were a reality, you know what I'm saying? Oh my God. They want Trump, they're like, oh my God, Trump is an authoritarian. Oh, I wish, bro, I wish.
TV cameras littered all throughout. And if Fordham admin see me at this protest with my face or my tattoos, which I've been trying to hide, I have very visible tattoos, they have the ability to recognize me and
Bro's literally wearing short sleeves.
Suspend me from the university for speaking out against the apartheid state of Israel.
First of all, not apartheid. Second of all, no, they would not ban you for speaking out against Israel. That's not a real thing. And third of all, you're literally getting broadcasted right now on my channel.
Okay. And if they do not divest, will you guys be willing to drop out of this university?
Well, that's the issue, is that...
That's the issue. The issue is all the good things are made by white people and capitalism. The bad thing is we don't like white people or capitalism.
I am here for a better education, and if I don't receive this education in some way...
Getting an education in underwater butt sex and lesbian pornography.
I feel like I'm not doing my duty to the world by bettering myself and bettering the world through my knowledge about these injustices throughout the world.
And what percentage of these students do you believe actually know why they're protesting?
100%.
100%.
Maybe 90 at the lowest.
Do you know why you are protesting here today?
Yes.
And what is that reason?
No comment.
Why can only the organizers speak about what's going on here?
They have no idea what they're actually fighting for, and they look retarded.
No comment.
Why not?
No comment.
We will not stop, we will not rest, disclose! Divest! We will not stop, we will not rest, disclose! Divest!
What would you like them to divest from? What would you like them to divest from?
Fordham hasn't, they don't release where they're putting any of their money. It's very secretive, and so we want them not only to divest, but more importantly, disclose.
Is that the main reason why you guys are here? Because you want the school to divest from
Do you
organizations?
have a press pass?
I'm just an independent person here.
I'm sorry, I don't think I'm supposed to talk to you.
Who tells you guys you can't speak to other people?
It's not like that.
Why are you guys protesting here today?
Because there's a genocide going on.
The buzzword palooza. This is insane. There's a pretendicide in Gaza. The Palestinians started a war and lost. And the war's been over for like a year now.
Of the Palestinian people, and 17,000 people have been killed.
Yeah, that's right. 70,000 people have been killed. 50,000 of them were Hamas terrorists, and a lot of civilian casualties because they use human shields. It really sucks that Hamas is so fucking bad that they started a war and lost so badly.
Hey, she's like,
oh, not the terrorists.
Letting me talk to her. And so why are you protesting today?
Again, because like 17,000 people have been killed.
Oh my gosh, she literally got the number wrong. It's crazy. It's 70,000. She heard 17,000 and she's just running with it. It's 70,000. These people know nothing. It's honestly insane.
So that's why. And for the school to divest in funding companies that are providing Israel with weapons and arms.
And what
companies are those? Oh my God. That's not what they're protesting for. They're fighting to protest against like Starbucks and like American companies that like open businesses in Israel. That's what they're actually fighting for.
What do you guys like the school to divest from?
That's all.
Do you think the majority of these college students know exactly why they are protesting?
The majority of them know nothing.
Hey.
I grew up in Israel. I moved here 27 years
shit.
ago. I've been to explosions. I've been to the shit. I don't believe in any God. I don't believe in any government. I believe in people. None of those people got their info. Okay? This is something that's been going on for years. None of them has anything to do with it, and none of them is going to lose anything where my parents sit under missiles. Not bullets,
Damn.
missiles. So what I think about, I think that's what white kids in America do. We have a country that's so good here, buddy, that we have time to bitch and moan and other shit, and you don't need to sit in the shelter and hope it's not landing on you. That's the reality of it.
And do you think any of these students would be willing to go to where the problem is actually happening there in...
100% no. To basically take it over the school, that's like me taking over an apartment. This is a little more, same thing, we had the riots here, and everybody started breaking into stores. That's not a protest anymore. They've been screaming for days. Nobody's listening. I haven't seen anything done on any level. You know, not even our government. So.
Bro, do you think there will be any results to these?
I think the major purpose for all these protests aren't actually to get the government to do whatever. I think it's part of an indoctrination process where they just want to indoctrinate like an entire generation to be radically anti-America.
Protest?
Absolutely not. No one in Israel sees this. They see this 2 minutes a day. No one got even electricity to see this. If you want to know your truth, know your...
Yeah.
That's all. Like every piece of history. Nothing is black and white.
In your simplest terms, why are you guys protesting right now?
I'm not going to give you like a specific answer. I have my own reasons. Many other people have their own reasons. We feel a sense of responsibility. Some of our tuition goes to that.
And do you believe these students are standing up for the right cause?
Certainly, I do believe that these students stand up for the right cause, and the same do I. I stand up for Palestine because I believe that everything that was done to Palestine from the very beginning is wrong, and not only wrong for Palestine, it's wrong for the Jewish people. It is fueling this endless cycle of bloodshed where everyone suffers.
Bro, I'll be real here. When I see like the radical anti-Zionist Jews showing up at like these protests, I'm like a little bit grossed out. I'm not gonna lie, it's a little gross.
And what are you guys out here protesting for today?
Sorry, who are you with?
My name's Nick Shirley. I'm just a YouTuber.
You're a what?
A YouTuber.
I'm good.
What are you guys protesting for?
So we're protesting for Fordham to divest from any connection to Israel or supporting the genocide that's going on in Palestine right now.
And would you guys be willing to walk away from this university if they do not divest?
I mean, me personally, I'm already walking away. I'm graduating, so I will be leaving
not walking
in 2
away.
weeks. I'm not sure if other students feel the same way, but our main goal with this protest is actually not to leave, to physically stay in this place until they divest, which I think is more important than us leaving as students from the university, because I just don't think that us leaving means that we're no longer here to protest. That means we're no longer here to have our voices be heard, so I don't really think that's the most productive.
And where are you from?
I don't know. I don't want to talk to people.
Wait, what? Why are you guys here today?
We're not interested in speaking with you.
What are you guys protesting
For Palestine, our college hasn't made a stand yet, and we, as students, are not for it.
Okay, and what are you guys not supporting? What are you guys against here?
The settlement of Palestine by Israel.
Okay. Why do you think a lot of the students here are afraid to talk, or they won't talk to other people that have cameras?
I think it's because the school has been threatening that they would suspend students and like make arrests.
A lot of people are getting doxxed. That means like people are finding out their personal information and they're threatening their personal life, things like that. That's why people are scared and wearing masks.
Scare us off, but
is it gonna work?
Not really, no.
How long are you guys willing to stand here for?
Until they, I don't know, like until they do something about it, until Tanya Tetlow
Until we
speaks.
reach an agreement. Until we reach an agreement.
What's that agreement gonna be?
We'll have to do some negotiations, but we want like
These are literally like this is terrorism, bro. We're gonna like break your windows and harass people and destroy your fucking college unless you succumb to our demands of whatever nebulous bullshit propaganda we're spewing today. Like, you know, one day we're pro Maduro, the next day we're pro Hamas, every day we're pro some other retard anti-American filth. And unless you succumb to our demands, we are gonna continue making your life worse.
Most of the 4 tenets that we just discussed over there, and part of that is condemning Israel.
That'll help.
Letting the Palestinian student organization have funding and have their club.
They have that.
And yeah, the overseas program as well, canceled. We want that.
Yeah, none of the students want to cause violence. We're just here to get to a solution. So
we don't want to cause violence. We're just gonna harass people and blow shit up until until they cave to our demands.
Yeah.
It's crazy watching these people, and they have no idea what they're protesting for. They have no idea about anything that they're actually saying. It's just like part of this gigantic group think where you don't want to leave the movement, you don't want to leave the people, and that is like half of the left is just being absolutely one shot by this anti-American groomed philosophy where they don't even know what they're worshiping, but they're ultimately worshiping a violent anti-American cult. That's the only thing they actually think they care about. They don't care about it. They don't know what they're even fighting for. It's so heartbreaking. And this is like affecting our youth. Like ultimately, when it comes to Republicans versus Democrats right now, it just comes down to people that are informed / like America versus people that are uninformed / hate America. And it's heartbreaking watching how obvious this divide is, no matter how many retards try to psyop you into thinking there's no difference between the right and the left. There is a fundamental difference between the right and the left. I love America and I think America is great. And those people fucking hate America and they want to import our doom. And that's why they're going to get destroyed. Incredible things are happening to the Eurotards right now. It's honestly pretty wild. Approval ratings for European leaders right now. 18% for Keir Starmer, 15% for Friedrich Merz from Germany, who just got bodied by Trump, 17% for Emmanuel Macron from France, who also just got bodied by Trump. Keir Starmer may be forced out this month if local elections go as badly as expected for the Labour Party. Oh my God, it's just wildly brutal for these people. You know, for some reason, they still have some sort of stranglehold on the world through their vetoes and their strongly worded letters and their United Nations proclamations, and they are some of the most useless people ever, and the people are tired of it. All right, you know, honestly, I feel bad for the Iranian people under their Islamic regime. I feel bad for the European people under the infinite libtards regime that's been going on for decades now. Just absolutely anti-white, anti-Christian nations that are just somehow existing, propped up by this regime and foreigners that they're importing, right? It's the psyoped liberal white women, it's the infinite brown people, and it's honestly the Eurotard elites that are pushing this entire agenda, completely fucking cucking any decent, legitimate, average, normal human in Europe. Now, for those of you that are unaware of some of the greatest news ever, before I get to the Eurocuck crash out, Sneeko is just deported. This is perfect. This is absolute cinema. Jihadi influencer Sneeko is now threatening to murder Australian journalist Shari Markson. The Trump Justice Department needs to investigate him. Right? Thanks for having me, Australia. You are going to die. It's pretty wild. Again, mostly peaceful Islamic violence. But the craziest part of this story is not only that this is going on, and that he probably will be getting investigated by the Trump administration. You know, he's been radically anti-America for a long time. He's pro-Iran in an Iran war. He's literally rooting for and doing free propaganda for our actual enemy in the middle of a war. Like, treason level shit, in my opinion. So, breaking, Sneeko has been deported from Australia. This is crazy. First stop he made when he landed there was visiting the father of an ISIS terrorist sentenced to 34 years in prison for carving an ISIS slogan into the skull of an Australian. What? So yeah, so the bro ended up getting deported from Australia. It went very badly for this guy. He goes to Australia, again, this dude, he drank the Islam Kool-Aid on a massive, massive level, to the point that he's actually out there just endorsing and advocating for Islamic terrorism. Now, this is going to be a controversial opinion, but it's almost like Islamic violence is directly influenced by the actual religion of Islam. It's almost like the religion of Islam is calling for this violence. That's weird. It might be Islamic phobic to think that way, but it's not racist. Because Islam is an ideology. It is not a race. But 85 IQ Sneeko got absolutely one-shot by Islam, and he is fully down that path, and now he's just violent. Major victory. We got Sneeko deported. This is fucking insane.
Huge victory. We managed to pressure the Australian government into
I love this guy, by the way. Drew Pavlo. He's like a friend of mine. I love this guy. He's just been so based.
Deporting Sneeko. We had 10,000 signatures on our petition to deport this Islamist extremist influencer. This is a guy who used...
Bro, a friend of mine got Sneeko deported from Australia. Oh my God. So fucking awesome. So good.
The same slogan as the Bali bomber who massacred 88 Australians. So he should never have been allowed into the country in the first place. Look, I'm very proud that over the past 2 months, just through my social media, we've been able to successfully pressure the Australian government into deporting at least 3 jihadist influencers or preachers. There was Sneeko. There were also 2 Bengali jihadist hate preachers, Mizanur Rahman Azhari and Sheikh Alhamdulillah. I'm very proud that through my social media pages and mobilizing the community, we've been able to deport these 3 jihadist hate preachers and influencers. But the question becomes, why are they even being allowed into the country in the first place? We had 88 Australians massacred at Bali, and we had 15 Australians massacred at Bondi just recently. We are disrespecting their memory by inviting jihadist hate preachers and influencers into our country.
That's a fucking patriot if I've ever seen one. You know, so this is wild. So Sneeko meets a Muslim undertaker who explains the process of procedures he takes to clean dead bodies after someone passes away. Isn't that beautiful? Inmate boasted for turning cellmate's forehead into Islamic State sketchpad, court hears. That's fucking crazy, by the way. All right? Ahmed Haraichi. All right, Mr. Haraichi, a father of 4, personal trainer, occasional actor, Lebanese Muslim Association funeral director, was overwhelmed with positive comments after the video in which he praised Mr. Darwish as a true Muslim. Mr. Haraichi had his own share of family pain. One of his sons, 20-year-old Bohran Haraichi, with whom he says he lost contact a long time ago, is in Australia's most secure prison, Goulburn Supermax. Charged with carving an Islamic State slogan on eye for an eye into a fellow inmate's forehead last year. What the fuck? Bohran Haraichi was in Kempsey prison, other matters when he allegedly attacked the inmate, etc., etc. And this is Sneeko meeting with the Muslim Undertaker guy, talking about this whole shit, you know?
Whole thing with washing up.
And this guy happens to be a pretty fucking diabolical fellow himself. First person Sneeko met with in Australia is the father of an ISIS terrorist sentenced to 34 years in a maximum security prison for carving an ISIS slogan into the skull of a white Australian prison inmate in a racial attack. Ahmed Haraichi, known as the Muslim Undertaker, is the father to Bohran Haraichi. This is fucking insane, by the way. Following the attack, he wrote to the NSW prison's boss, threatening to turn your jails into slaughterhouses, and told the sentencing judge, I will always support jihad and love my brothers in Al-Qaeda. So this guy straight up met with a dude who's not only the father of an Islamic terrorist, but he himself has posted Islamic terror threats constantly, threaten people's lives, open support for jihad and Al-Qaeda. This is the first person that Sneeko meets up with in Australia, and he is now deported. He's gone. Colossal W. The Patriots win again. I told you, man. I said this from the very beginning. Society in the Western world is getting shaped by civilians, by strong men. Strong, young men are the future of Western civilization, and we are the people that are actually going to make a difference. Whether it's Nick Shirley investigating fraud, or Drew Pavlo getting Sneeko deported, Tommy Robinson exposing the Pakistani Muslim grooming gangs in England, Elon Musk buying Twitter, the YouTubers that cover this and bring this into the public consciousness, you know, the Asmongold's of the world that actually get people to know what's actually going on. Civilians, citizens, young men who care about our civilization are going to change the future of the world. And it is wild watching it actually happen in real time. Insane. Now, German Chancellor Merz, after criticizing Trump constantly about Iran, completely caved after Trump threatened him. Just to understand the Euro-cuckery that is going on.
Bleibt. Unsere gemeinsame Botschaft lautet, der Iran muss an den Verhandlungstisch kommen.
Yes, of course, Iran must come to the new negotiating table. It must stop playing for time. It must no longer take the region and the entire world hostage. Its military nuclear program must be ended completely forever. There must be no further strikes against Israel and our partners in the region. Yada, 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 blada, blada. Words. I am a Eurocuck, and this is how I operate. I can only say words, and hopefully the Islamic terrorists will stop doing terrorism because of the words that I'm saying right now. This is how cucked Europe is. It's unreal. It's like, Trump did everything right, but I'm still going to condemn him because I want Muslim votes, and I'm also not going to deport 730,000 Syrians that are in our country for some reason. And I'm going to condemn Trump, and then Trump criticizes me, and then I immediately fold, and I support Trump, and then I'm going to call out Iran. I called him out. I made a diss track on Iran. That's right. I wonder how Iran is going to survive from these sick burns as we criticize him publicly. And this is what they're all doing. Keir Starmer does the same shit, bro. Right? So Iran had multiple Iran-backed terrorist attacks on British soil, including bombing ambulances, stabbing some Jews, blowing up some churches. There were multiple Iranian-backed terror attacks in British society, right, that Iran directly took credit for. And this is the ultimate response from queer Stalin.
We're clear that these actions will have consequences.
Yeah, what?
If that proves to be the case.
Yeah, what? What are the consequences?
Our message to Iran or to any other country that might seek to foment violence, hatred, or division in society.
So what are you going to do?
Is that it will not be tolerated.
Yeah, what are you going to do, though?
That is why we're
All right, you won't tolerate it. Got it. So what are you going to do?
fast-tracking legislation to tackle these malign threats.
All right, legislation to tackle it. In what way, bro? You're importing people that are trying to kill you. How are you going to tackle it, sir?
And we're clear-eyed about the fact that anti-Semitism does not have one source alone.
True. It's just mostly coming from one place right now.
Islamist, far left, far right extremism.
I love how he does this every time. It's like, there are many places where anti-Semitic violence shows up. It's on the far left, it's on the far right, it's Islamic. It's all Islamic. What are we fucking talking about? It's all from the same place. Right? When's the last time there was a Jew stabbed or shot or lit on fire in England that was done by a far-right guy? Well, not this decade. Like, bro, I'm not trying to be controversial or anything, but Muslims shot Jews in Manchester. Muslims stabbed Jews in Golders Green just 2 days ago. All right, Muslims blew up Jewish volunteer ambulance services. Muslims lit synagogues on fire. Like, explain to me where the far-right source of anti-Semitic violence is. Right, the violence against Jews, and this is going to be shocking, is the same as the violence against Christians, actually, in England, all right? Who is raping a generation of young white girls in England? Who's doing that? It's not the Jews. It's not the Zionists. It's not the far right. It's not the far... Well, it is the far left, because the far left is Islam. They have literally joined hands with the Islamic cause.
All target Jewish communities.
Yeah, but who's doing
that?
targeting?
Is why this government has put in place the first coordinated national plan to strengthen cohesion and confront extremism in all of its forms.
All right, you're going to confront extremism. What the fuck does that even mean? That means arresting right-wing people that are anti-Muslim? Look, Muslims kill Jews. We're going to have to arrest white people for criticizing Muslims. England, ladies and gentlemen. England, once again, finds a way to get even more cucked than it was before.
This is not about tinkering around the edges. Our plan is a complete step change in how we protect communities.
Yeah, like what?
Moving beyond piecemeal responses to a sustained nationwide effort.
He's saying nothing right now, by the way.
One that ensures that people across the United Kingdom can live freely and without fear.
Yeah, but they are living in fear, and you said nothing, right? And every single one of his speeches, it's nothing and condemnations and strong words and not tolerate, and that's all of it, bro. You know, Spain, so much actual... toxic empathy allows the hantavirus cruise ship to dock in the Canary Islands. This is just a picture of Spain letting people with deadly viruses into their country. It's crazy. Jewish school children. Oh, this is new in England. Insane. Jewish school children left running for their lives after cars sped towards them and mounted pavement. I wonder who could have possibly done this. Maybe it was the far right. You understand, there were 140 offenses of anti-Semitic hate crimes, and I don't just mean like spray painting swastikas, like actual violence against Jews this year so far in England. All right, like what's going on? And it's all coming from Muslims. No, not all. Yeah, all. It's all coming from Muslims, actually. Qatar is spending millions of dollars on Islamist projects in Poland. This is really scary, man. It's not surprising the new mega mosque is currently being built in Strasbourg, the second capital of the European Union and home to a large Muslim population. Why is Qatar funding Islamist projects in Poland, a Catholic country and a homogenous society? Well, I'm just letting you know so that you could say I told you so in a couple of years when all of a sudden Poland starts loosening its immigration policies. Because all of a sudden, I guarantee you, a lot of these schools that are going to be getting funding from Qatar are going to start being a lot more open-minded in regards to bringing in rapists. They're going to start being pro-rape, actually. And again, it's all, these are the most performative people on the planet, all right? So this is one of the people on the European libtard cruise ship to break Israel's blockade of Gaza. This is him showing up in court with his hands behind his back. But as you can see, he's not cuffed, right? It's all performance for these people. Right, his hands are not handcuffed. You can't make this up. Gaza flotilla activist Diego Avila entered the court in Israel with his hands tied behind his back as if they were handcuffed. And the reality is not handcuffed. It's crazy. It's all propaganda, all of it. A man reportedly shouted Allahu Akbar as he attacked two people with a knife in Barcelona, Spain. It was probably a straight white male, man. A 16-year-old girl of Asian origin was stabbed 30 times by a man shouting Allahu Akbar in broad daylight in a wealthy suburb of Barcelona. A 50-year-old man was injured while attempting to intervene and save the victim during the attack. Witnesses described the man acting nervously and brandishing a large knife before he repeatedly stabbed the victim in the throat, chest, and stomach. Oh my fucking god, dude. Suspect was later found, blah, 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 etc., etc. We just have to live like this at this point. Far-left activists in Spain, now, after all this went down, honestly, what a nightmare, right, that this happened. That this person was stabbed, they held a memorial for her. And the far-left activist said that the memorial was racist. It's racist to hold a memorial of someone who's killed by someone that screams Allahu Akbar. So they do a minute of silence, and they interrupt it. Like, I can't even imagine such evil. It's crazy to believe that such evil actually exists. This girl gets stabbed. Someone screams Allahu Akbar, stabs this girl a whole bunch of times. They have a minute of silence at her memorial. The crowd is shouting silence at the radicals as they continue chanting. And that's it. Today's There's No Politics. Shut up, you bitch. Respect the family that's standing right here. But they don't care. They don't care. They don't care at all. Because mourning someone who's killed by Islamic violence is racism, actually, according to the left. You can't make this up. And Democrats are just tired of it. Even Democrats are realizing, holy shit, my party's retarded.
Democrats are the dumbest people on the planet. The dumbest. I'm watching every one of them destroy themselves. They get online or they get up in front of audience and they say the dumbest things to destroy themselves. Look at Jimmy Kimmel. Jimmy Kimmel is done. I just want y'all to understand this. He's done. He has no more credibility. Nobody cares for him. And after that comment that he made to Melania, saying that she looks like a widow, he's done. He's done. He is done. Let me tell you something. Melania, she responded. And once the wife, people don't understand this. Most of the time, the wife is the one keeping the husband calm. If she's not a treacherous person. Usually it's the wife that says, oh, honey, you know, they're just being who they are. Don't worry about it. Don't let it get to you. Don't let it phase you. You just keep doing you. Not now. Not this time. Jimmy's done. He is done. That was the most disrespectful thing that you could say. Yeah. When you tell a person.
The libtards, like these are leftoids, and they're like, holy shit, my people are evil. My people are actually just evil. All right, Muslims in the UK are openly calling for Sharia law and the jizya tax, and it's insane.
I know jizya tax, that non-Muslims will have to pay a tax. Yep. I would say, do you agree with that? Like if someone doesn't want to follow the religion, they have to pay a tax?
Yeah, that's fine.
That's fine.
Yeah, what's
you
the issue?
Join in?
What's the issue with that? What's the issue with that?
What's the issue? I don't want to be a Muslim.
Let's answer the question. You don't have to be a Muslim. Just pay your 2% tax.
But I don't want to pay a tax just because I'm not Muslim.
So you stop in the UK to stop paying your taxes and see what happens to you.
Yeah, it's not because I'm not Muslim though. Everybody pays taxes here.
Yeah, and we as Muslims, we pay zakah. You know, zakah is charity. You as a Muslim, you don't pay that. So this is why you have to pay. And by the way, you pay taxes because you're under our protection.
That's right.
If the country was to go to war, right, you would not join the army. We would have to defend you. This is why you pay the jizya tax. It's called a protection tax.
Literally.
So if the country
you have to pay us for your protection. You can't make this up. Special tax that non-Muslims pay for simply being a non-Muslim. And these are people openly advocating for this in England. And you know, and the British government wants nothing to do with it. Like, this is the suicidal empathy that's just insane. So a friend of mine, Think Before You Sleep, sent me this video, and it's honestly incredible to watch the libtards twist themselves into like pretzels over this. All right, so now they're losing their jobs, and it's like, I can't believe I'm losing my job. All I did was endorse the assassination of the president of the United States.
I wasn't going to make a video about this because I genuinely want to move on with my life. But a few weeks ago, I made a stupid video about the president. The far right found it, posted it on Twitter, and then got me fired from my job.
Fucking based. Patriots. Let's freaking go. Oh my God, Nux, you support her getting fired from her job? I'm sorry. I believe in freedom of speech for every party. She has the right to be insensitive, and her employers have the right to fire her. And I have the right to broadcast her retardedness to my audience. Absolutely. That is where we're at right now. Based patriots. Oh my God, consequences to supporting the assassination of the president of the United States.
I am already reaping the consequences of what I said.
Based.
I lost my job in an economy that's already incredibly difficult. And
guess you shouldn't have endorsed the assassination of the president or something.
I want to move forward. Do I regret what I said? Absolutely. I shouldn't have posted it on the internet.
Oh well.
Okay?
That sucks.
It was a joke.
Uh-oh.
I do not condone violence.
Grr. And
I would never hurt anybody.
Yeah, I love when leftists do this, and then you ask them why not, and then they fall apart. Like, why wouldn't you support assassinating President Trump? He's an authoritarian, fascist, dictator, Nazi, so should we kill him? They all support it. They just don't want to say it out loud. It's their strategy. They're hiding their power level.
Okay? That being said, I just got a letter in the mail. They have an address on it, so I'm going to have to report it to the authorities. It's a picture of my house.
That's fucked up.
And it says, Allison, how does it feel? You've been doxxed and karma, cause and effect is coming, with a smiley face.
That's fucked. To think this could have been avoided if you wouldn't have endorsed the murder of the president of the United States. That's fucked up, man.
All I have to say is that we're living in an incredibly scary time.
Yeah.
Please be careful what you post on the internet. People aren't insane.
True. You should stop endorsing the murder of the president. That would really solve a lot of issues.
Again, I am already suffering the consequences of what I said and did.
That sucks,
okay?
man.
I want to move forward. I want to move on. But these people are so vindictive, and they want to preach morality while sending me letters like this.
Yeah, that's fucked
up. And
up.
while leaving hateful messages on my social media, calling me every name in the book.
Hateful messages are based as fuck. No, I'm really happy that they're harassing you on social media comments. That's great. I don't condone or support any harassment. I don't want anyone in my audience to go and bully anyone, but it's fucking awesome to hear.
Because of a stupid thing that I said about the President of the United States.
Yeah, you shouldn't endorse killing the president.
Who, number one, does not care about you, and number two, probably didn't even see what I said. He doesn't.
Yeah, no one cares. Yeah, you just shouldn't be endorsing the murder of the president of the United States. Consequences are going to happen, actually.
Care.
Yeah.
Somehow I am being held more accountable for something stupid I said on the internet than people who send stuff like this and the President of the United States who has been spewing violent rhetoric his entire presidential
Oh my God, Trump made a mean tweet. So now the leftists are all saying they should kill him and they're facing consequences?
career.
Oh no.
That's really it. I don't even know what to do. I want this to go away, but this is absolutely...
I want the consequences to stop. I like being able to fuck around, but I really don't like finding out.
Insane. And please be careful what you post on the internet, especially if you post political content. People are crazy. Go on the internet right now and make sure that your address and your phone number is not on there. Because I've seen people get doxxed for reposting an Instagram story about the president.
Yeah, but what's the story? Yeah, but what's the story, though? It's like, I love how these people are like such disingenuous, dishonest fuckwads. It's honestly insane. She really sitting here? People are crazy on the internet, says the crazy person on the internet that decided to post something about condoning the assassination of the president of the United States. Not consequences for your actions. I can't believe it. Accountability, consequences. I can't believe it, actually. So yeah, anyway, I made a stupid video about the president, far right found it, posted on Twitter, got me fired from my job. Based as fuck, actually. That's awesome. I suggest you cry about it. Absolute patriots getting sneako deported, getting liberals fired after they support the assassination of the president of the United States. God, I love my fellow man. I love my country. I love my civilization. God bless you. God bless the United States of America. And remember the eternal doctrine of you fuck around and you will find out. Anyway, thanks for watching. This was today's deep dive on all of the things. I've been spending a lot of time on these videos, doing a lot of research for these videos, and I really appreciate all the support. You guys have been incredible. I'm trying to post every day. Some days I miss an upload just because I end up getting lost in the research weeds for the big video. But once again, I am very grateful for all of you for being here. Honestly, the work that I do is, I like doing it, and also I'm really grateful to see the reaction and responses from everyone. So leave a like, subscribe, leave a comment, say something funny in the comment section about retards finding out, and I'll see you in the next one, everybody. All right, patriots, stand strong. The next generation belongs to strong men. Be the change you want to see in the world.